inside the
campus recreational.
Here, head coach Sherlyn Chance netted them a 12-2 record and sees them slotted in as the second seed in the OCAA East. Today, they start their playoff campaign against the visiting Redeemer Royals as they get underway here with a 3. I'm Sean McLeod, joined by my broadcast colleague Ryan Vieira, and a big-time match feel here today as the shots missed by Anika Leverage. Into the paint, and the shot is good.
Wow. I thought the Lords were actually in pretty good defensive positioning there, but that quick shot just gets over and through that basket.
Station is the one who made the bucket, and then that time Deja Thompson coming in, starting today, in and out of the starting lineup throughout this season, and been such a key contributor for the Lords.
Yeah, what a role she's worked her way into, a top 5 starting role towards the back half of the season, and she finds some room in the paint to make that play happen, get the bucket.
So Deja Thompson will bring it up for the Lords, trailing by 3 early, 7-4. Morrison leading in the steals category, gets started early here today, picks up her first, averaging 3.2 on the season. Thompson with a spin move, looking to keep it going, is unable to. The rebound's picked up by Vitello.
Nice communication there between Thompson and Glendening too on the baseline. Just couldn't get any lucky.
Leverage. Finds a cutting, Morse.
They play a basketball season this year.
You got to play a bit better defense than that, as Vitello cuts into the paint and picks up 2 points.
And I thought that was going to be the difference maker today for the Lords, the 3rd best defensive team in the entire league. Already letting up 9 here so far this afternoon.
0 for 3, no good. Thompson. Looking around a few debris.
Oh boy.
A hot start for Redeemer Royals. It's 12-8. 4 minutes through the first quarter. And Leverage going to the line looking for a 3-point play.
Boy, Durham needed that to really get their offense a little kick-started here. I'm noticing early on they're trying a little bit too much a little bit, just cycling the ball around in very evasive areas. Not really taking their time with it, being a little too quick with shots and passing, but Leverage, chance to complete the 3-point play here at the line and really get Durham's momentum set in here.
By Thompson, she doesn't seem to know that happened.
I think she thought that Heyman was going to get that ball, and ran back maybe just in case to defend, but instead, Beamer still has it.
Oliver picking up the rebound. Shot clock goes off, but it'll be reset for the Lord's possession. Lippman kicks it out. Shot is no good from Lippman, and we'll find her out on the perimeter once again. 9 seconds left for the Lords, and Modern finishes with a sweet layup.
Very sweet layup. Again, that second effort coming, the pressure comes back on after the first shot missed, and Heyman unable to put it over and up.
And what a shot. Jessica Angelini, 6 points here in the opening quarter.
2 for 2 from 3-point range. Really big start here for the Redeemer Royals. Not the start we were expecting to see, Sean.
No.
So much of the time.
And Hannah Oak ready up at the table. You see Thompson come out. as well as Shea Lippman.
We're going to see that change come during a timeout, though.
And it'll be a timeout coming from the Redeemer Royals, who currently lead 15-13 here in the opening quarter. And, I mean, it's that time of year. You get into playoff basketball, sometimes you can throw seeding out of the window, and certainly a 2-seed versus a 7-seed here in this matchup, you expect it to be a bit of a gap. Not today.
Not exactly. Redeemer, really strong start. They've had the offense going, especially on the offensive side. They were kind of a middle of the pack team in the regular season in that category of 10th, but the Lord's defensive side, on the other hand, that third from field goal range, 5 of 9, I should say. So I'm sure Sherlyn Chance making some adjustments here for this defense, and maybe pressuring the ball hasn't really worked out the way the Lords have wanted it to. I was going to say that was their key strength early on on their defensive side, is how they pressure the ball handler, the double teams, whatnot. So maybe get back to another strategy, maybe more zone D, cover these shooters on the Redeemer Royals.
So ball comes in off the baseline. Sweet little hook shot. It's to break getting on the board. Keeping it going, and a touchdown pass unable to be completed. Looks like it'll stick with the Lords, however.
Yep.
Ball in. Leverage playing some bully ball, will get the rebound, and she'll pick up the foul heading to the line.
I know Nika Leverage, that's one of her key strengths, is underneath the basket, finding hard to get to that ball, a second chance opportunity. And if you're Durham, this is what you need early on. Not a lot of offense getting going early on, but in the paint, the Lords have been pretty strong, especially led by Leverage, and she has a chance for some 2 points here. Misses that one, though.
Leverage is an interesting player, because last year, this team had some struggles early on, and you really didn't have Brianna Morrison contributing at the rate that she's contributing at now. And towards the end of the season, it was Leverage who really came on and was a key force for them this season, moving into more of a supporting role. But she has that skill.
Yeah, certainly a leadership role as well. One of the leaders on this Durham team. And she's really had a big impact as well, not just off the bench. She's worked her way into a starting role as well from time to time for Sherlyn Chance. So like I said, Durham has a lot of options off the bench to work with. Leverage going to work again, she's one of them.
And a bit too short on that one. One of the bigs picking up a foul here, as both Oak and Leverage had contact on the play.
I was going to say, Oliver and Leverage, I find, really play a similar role under.
Alicia Lewis coming in off the bench for the Lords, and Leverage will head out. Morrison gets it over half, immediately trapped, and somehow is able to keep that.
You're able to take advantage momentarily.
Shot clock resets as it hits the rim, and Oak picks up 2.
Well, good for Brianna Morrison escaping that 3-on-1 trap there almost. Able to get that ball free at half court, and that started the whole play, and eventually that led to the Hannah Oak layup.
So we'll see Glendenning come back in, as well as the aforementioned Kendra Oliver. I'd really be remiss to talk about this team without talking about the contributions of Glendenning as well. Such a versatile player, shoots well from 3, slots in around the wing, and also as a big. Morrison.
38.1, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll look out for that and see if Glendenning can get the shooting game going from downtown as well. The Lords can certainly use that down by 3 late in this quarter.
Oliver unable to get the shot to fall, but it'll be Lords ball off the baseline. Cutting into the paint is Morrison. Out to Oliver, foot on the line, and shot is no good. Blair with the rebound. Station finds Blair and shot. Vitello. And the ball picked away by Oliver.
There's that pressure I'm talking about. Eventually, the Lords
off the rim and in.
Kendra Oliver and the Lords cutting it a little closer towards the end of the shot clock. Oliver got the ball in her hands with about 3 seconds left. I thought she would have to pull it off immediately, but just had enough time to get to the paint and put it in off the glass.
Lords trail by 1, 19 to 18. A minute left here in the first quarter of play. Oliver looking to go back-to-back, step-back jumper, rims in and out.
Well, just a little too strong there from Oliver. The extra little roll was enough to push the ball back out.
Vitello kicks it out. It's a three-point shot. It's no good to break. Morrison out to Littman. Oliver finds Morrison for three-point range all around the rim and in that time. And the Lords take a lead for the first time tonight, 21 to 19.
And Brianna Moore
and Deja Thompson.
Kendra Oliver and Shea Littman heading off.
We'll see Avery Klein come in for Redeemer. And you hear the supporter section for Durham getting into it.
Yep, one of the loudest times we've heard the crowd this year getting into it, and why shouldn't you be into it? It's playoff time. Only home playoff game the Lords are going to have this year, so good chance to come out and support your team for one last time at home.
4 seconds left on the shot clock. 1 second, and what a block from Hannah Oak to end the quarter.
Big ovation, I should say, from Deja Thompson and Emily Glendening on the way off. Hannah Lords.
21-21 here at the end of the first quarter. To break was 6. Angelini was 6, shooting perfect from three-point range. On the flip side of things, Deja Thompson with 6 and Brianna Morrison with 5. Kendra Oliver with 4. Exciting first quarter basketball action there, Ryan.
Very exciting. Again, I'm sure not the start most people would think the Lords would want to this game, playing the 7th seed in the Western Conference, but if you're Durham, that's a chance to really make adjustments. You bounce back towards the end there of the first quarter since that first time out, and now you have a chance to go into the second to really get a gist of what this team's all about. Redeemer offense came out strong and kind of dried up a little bit towards the end, so Durham making some adjustments on defense to kind of level that playing field out there. So we'll see if Durham can come out and recognize their opponent a little bit more and take over in the second quarter.
You know, you mentioned a bit earlier, but the points against stat is really what's differentiating the two of them. 74.1 a game points against for Redeemer, which is a lot in the OCAA. And on the flip side of things, 54.9, which is a fairly good defense in the OCAA for Durham. And tonight, Redeemer, it's all about keeping people in check. You got to keep Deja in check. You got to keep Morrison in check. Part of the difficulty of guarding this Lords team is that obviously a lot of the attention goes towards Brianna Morrison, like you said, the second leading scorer in the OCAA, or third leading scorer now, I should say.
Yep.
You still got Glendening. You still got Leverage you can pop in at any time.
Still got Oliver, Thompson, right? The list goes on a little bit.
And you've got options.
Yep.
Redeemer, it's just a matter of keeping everybody to manageable increments.
Yeah, we saw those options pay off for the Lords a little early on. Remember, Morrison was triple teamed at half court there, 3-on-1, and somehow able to get the support and dig that free.
The fact that stayed on that side of the court was insane.
Very insane.
So Morrison will get us started here in the second quarter of action. Oak coming off that massive block to end the quarter. Leverage had Thompson open down low, will kick it out. And Glendening unable to hit a three, and Leverage is battling for it down low. Step back jumper, no good. Station working on a screen, will kick it out, and it'll be out of bounds.
I was going to say, I thought the referee didn't say that ball was out at first. I thought he wasn't going to make a call, but came a little bit late.
Avery Klein, just a bit too much to handle on that pass.
Old saying, a little too hot to handle.
Yep. Hannah Oak putting it off of the glass, no good. And we'll see Redeemer bring it up. Angelini brings it over past half court. Klein will kick it out. To break, puts up a falling shot, and will pick up the foul and head to the line.
Looks like Anna Oak standing right in the middle of the lane. Got her feet planted a little too early, and the attack of the Redeemer Royals are again getting to this Durham defense, getting some extra foul shots. I was saying it's Deidre Thompson who actually got the foul, actually.
That's interesting. I wouldn't have put that one on Thompson myself, but maybe the referees had a better view of it.
Yeah, Thompson was in the vicinity, but I didn't think she got a lot of contact on anyway, but regardless.
See Morrison getting some instruction from the assistant coaches during those free throws. Thompson. Glendening, shot clock winding down, has to go up in a hurry, gets it off, and it'll be shot clock violation as it didn't hit the rim.
Yeah, again, there's that extra hesitation there of the Lords trying to find ways to cycle the ball around past this Redeemer defense. And again, it kind of winds down to taking too much time off the shot clock. You have time, 24 seconds, but not too much of it. 24 seconds is a very quick time. Doesn't last very long.
Klein will find to break. Trying to drive on Thompson, is unable to do so.
Oh,
Blair drops her defender, and the shot is no good.
Not for sure Blair was getting a foul there. I thought she actually got an elbow there towards Thompson as she was turning. But instead it goes uncalled, but the Lords do get lucky. See Thompson rubbing her face a little bit afterwards.
Yeah, took a tough one there. Glendening. It'll be Morrison for 3 points, and it's no good. Blair pokes it forward. Working in transition, a little Euro step and a bit too strong on the finish. Morrison will pull it back out. Looking down low for Oak, and the pass is over the top of her head and right through her hands. Redeemer sticking around in this one, 23-21. Not going quietly into the night.
Very much so. It's been a pretty quiet scoring second quarter. Very quiet, in fact. Redeemer has the only 2 points, almost 3 minutes in, so not a lot of offense going whatsoever for Durham.
Klein puts up a shot and right into the hands of Glendening. Lippman trying to find Oliver, rolls around and in.
There you go. That patience and finding your targets in the key area finally pays off to break the goose egg in this quarter for Durham. Oliver, a little open there, takes advantage.
Morrison puts on the afterburners, off glass and good in transition.
And there you go. Durham now taking advantage of the transition. They finally get the quick out. And then Morrison uses that speed, goes off the glass and in.
3-point shot, and may have had a foot on the line either way. Angelini, no good. Leverage finds Oliver, and that one's no good. Deep 3-point shot shot. Are you kidding me? Jessica Angelini making 9 points on the night.
Okay, she can shoot. She can shoot. Two of four now, or 3 of 4 now, I should say, from three-point land. That was a deep one too. Not a lot of the time you see shots go in from that far out.
And a tough shot in the paint from Kendra Oliver. She's been contributing tonight.
Takes over the scoring lead for the Lords now with 8 with that bucket. As I mentioned, it was key for the Lords to get Oliver back at the right time towards the end of the regular season for these reasons alone in the paint. Like I said earlier, I find she and Leverage and Onika Leverage have that same type of playing style to them where they're good and underneath the glass on both sides. That's really paying off.
We'll see Gallimore come back in. Ball into the paint, tough shot. Gets the rebound, is not able to finish. And pick and choose who that one goes off of.
Onika Leverage again, I believe, got a hand on that one right as it went up on the first try. The second one,
Frog Denhill was unable to convert on the bucket. 27-26, Durham in the lead. However, briefly, been back and forth tonight, and a little separation brewing potentially. 29-26.
There you go. It's just what you need if you're Durham. Like I mentioned, the offense getting a little quiet, but all of a sudden a little run here going. Get another stop here too, which is key.
Littman tries to save it and saves it out of bounds. Be interesting to see how the defense on Angelini changes. She's been stretching the floor tonight. 9 points.
All of which from three-point range as well.
So heading off will be Station, just 2 points on the night. And she is one of the better rebounders in the OCAA with 12.5 and a nice bucket there.
There's Angelini again. This time this will be a 2-pointer for her instead.
Mixing it up
every now and then, now up to 11, leading all scorers in the game.
Driving into the paint, Gallimore finds a little bit of room and unable to finish it. Vitello hands it off to break. Gets a screen. You see the defense spreads right out onto Angelino and the ball comes anywhere close to her. The ball recovered by the Lords.
Defense is all of a sudden getting active. If you're noticing throughout this second quarter, a couple of big stops being made.
Thompson with a dump off, gets the ball back and bounces around and in. 31-28.
Good effort by Thompson following up the second shot opportunity. Doesn't make any mistake.
Vitello. So Katie Lau puts it off a foot. It'll stay with Redeemer. And Redeemer calling a timeout as they're starting to fall behind just incrementally here in the second quarter. 31-28, 3 minutes left for the Lords.
Mentioned the Lords are on the 3-minute mark of this second quarter. Haven't got a lick of offense. Scoreless 2-0 in this second quarter, but all of a sudden it was 10-5. Durham is leading the offensive scoring ever since that I made that comment, so I guess a little motivation is all the ladies need down there, but but all of a sudden Durham, the difference in defense to me, Sean, is kind of seeping out a little bit. Lord's getting some defensive stops, getting their positioning a little bit better out there, towards the end of the second quarter, which has them up by 3. So we'll see how Redeemer now responds to all of a sudden having been trailing in this game by the larger margin, I believe. I believe this is the largest lead Durham has had at 3. But they definitely have a shooting game going. Like we mentioned, Jessica Angelini, 4 of 5 in field goal range. Karen Tubank, 2 of 5. So we'll see if they can get the hot shooters going again towards the end of the second quarter.
So Angelini will be inbounding it for Redeemer. And
the shot clock not reset?
Yeah. Just losing track of the shot clock.
Yeah, I believe they thought the shot clock reset, but that wasn't the case apparently. I thought they called that timeout a little bit too late anyway, Sean?
Yeah, and that's a bad mistake to come out of a timeout with too.
Oh, I know. You get no offense, get no shot off, and now you're giving it right back to Durham.
And Oaken unable to finish on the layup attempt. Lau will pull it back out and start the half-court offense for Redeemer. To break. Gets a screen, driving baseline, and poked away by Oliver.
There's that defense coming up with the pressure again. Let's see if the offense can take advantage now, get a little separation with this team.
Shot from Lippman, no good, into the hands of Thompson. Hamanen forced to put up a 3 at the end of the shot clock, no good. And it'll be a foul on the Lords.
Looked like to break was pushed down there. It's going to be Thompson with her second foul of the game.
Thompson struggled with that a few times throughout this season, picking up fouls.
Fouls early on in the game.
Yeah.
We can relate. She kind of got a little unlucky with that one time where got 5 fouls in the game. Thought originally it was 6 in the stat sheet at first time, but it was in fact 5 in that game, but we'll see.
Chance was screaming for the ball to find Lippman in the corner. The ball comes late, and Vitello unable to finish the layup.
Well, it's got a big break there. You mentioned that communication error down at the other end on the offensive end. Sherlyn Chance wanted the ball to go to somebody, the open player on the other side, but instead it leads to the Redeemer team coming the other way. And a bit of an unfortunate break for them as the open layup was missed.
And you can see Chance giving some instruction to Hamanen. Wanted that ball to get to Lippman, and just came late, ended up in a turnover. Lippman will find leverage into the paint. Morrison with a layup.
I was going to say a mistake from Heyman and cost the Lords at one end, but ultimately Morrison gets it back at the other.
Angelini with the rebound. Vitello, almost surprised there wasn't a foul call.
Morrison, yeah, I was going to say. Deaver gets the bucket anyway, but yeah, Morrison went right in. And somehow that wasn't called.
Shot no good. So Station comes back in the game. Katie Lau heads out for Redeemer. Station dumps it off into the paint with a beautiful pass, and a couple attempts later, Brogdenhill in short order has 4 points.
Can't let that happen if you're the Lord's defense. Two of them are right in front, right in the paint area. But Dylan was still able to get wide open with 2 of them right there.
And a push call.
Sherlyn Chance really not happy with what he's seeing. Now he's momentarily there was Barkin and Shea Littman there.
You see Deja not wanting to get into issues with the shot clock, shouting 14. 6 seconds as it's turned off, and able to pick up a bucket right before half as the Lords trail 36-35. It's a tight one here at the Campus Recreation and Wellness Center. Leading for the Lords, who else but Brianna Morrison with 9 points and 2 rebounds. On the other side, Angelini with 11 points and Karen Tabrake with 8. And Deja Thompson with 10 in the lead there with the final shot of the half. And a real good game of basketball being played here, but you got to imagine that the Lords are a bit shocked by this so far.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm pretty sure that's kind of the reasoning of what Sherlyn Chance was so upset there towards the end of the second quarter, was how things were going in this game. I'm sure Durham wasn't expecting this much competition, but to Redeemer, give them credit. They've come out here all the way from Hamilton, really putting up a fight here, leading by 1 towards the going into halftime, and we'll see if that late bucket from Thompson, the late maiden layup, can bring some life into this Durham team in the locker room.
It's the OCAA playoffs right here on OCAA Live. We'll be right back in about 14 minutes for the second half.
We all really want to win, and we all want to work hard towards winning. We don't think that just because we've done so well in the past years that other teams are just going to give it to us. We know that people know who we are because of how well we've done, and we have to work for what we want. These past couple years have been really good. Team-wise, I've made some of my best friends on this team who I believe will be with me for the rest of my life. And it doesn't feel like we're really friends. It feels like we're more of like a small family because of how closely knit we are.
Honestly, it's a really great program. There's a lot of extras that we have here. We have ETS, which is one of our fitness programs that we go through during the season, which helps with like injury prevention and also helps us improve as players throughout the year. Also, we have a really great coaching staff. We're really hard on academics and we want to make sure that everyone, while they're doing well on the court, they're also doing well off the court.
The way I approach as a coach, like you're here to be a student first. You have to be a successful student in order to play volleyball. You need to have a certain grade point average. If you're a scholarship athlete, you have a certain grade point average to receive that. School is going to get you where you want to be. Once you get that under your belt, then you become the athlete, and that's what we work hard on to make sure that they're successful in the court that way.
You meet a lot of new people on the sports teams and you make a lot of new friends, so it just kind of makes you feel more comfortable coming from high school.
We know it's a big jump going from high school to college. We do open gyms for the summertime. Sometimes we know the kids 2 summers ahead and we'll have them come out just to meet the girls and train and try to get to the next level and then just help ease that transition.
Getting to know some of the girls before even starting school helped a lot because you kind of you make friends through it because you already have a common interest.
We try our best to make sure that it's a second family and you feel welcome and you feel comfortable. We want them to come in and go, hey, I know 10, 12 other people, and that they feel a little more comfortable and a little more stable.
A lot of the teachers are really understanding for first years and they try to help you as much as possible, and as long as you let them know when you're missing things and you're going to make up for them, they're pretty understanding of all that.
So when I recruit, I talk to the athletes about potential athletes, what programs they're interested in. We have a lot of good programs that we can utilize here and really try to sell Durham for what it is. We have tons of amenities that a lot of other schools don't have.
We have an academic athletic study room that was provided for us. We all go up there to study sometimes or just to finish homework.
I think it's really good having the team room kind of as a place to go in between class, before practice, after practice really helps out. We have like ice tubs in the back of the room that I usually use almost every time after practice.
The gyms that we have are up to date, nice equipment that we get to utilize, our hitting boxes, our Accu-Spike, setting targets, passing targets.
Having like people be there to set it up for us to make sure everything's right and perfect, it's really helpful. It doesn't really put extra stress on us.
One of the big programs that we utilize is the ETS, Elite Training Systems. That's something that a lot of schools don't have for varsity-only training sessions to help your athletes to increase their speed and vertical and to avoid therapy. Therapy we have 2 great trainers every year that are overseen by our therapy staff. Our athletes are usually pretty strong and do avoid injury as much as possible.
We have a great coaching staff. Tony especially, he knows how to reach out to the girls and how to get them motivated during practice.
I think what's so good about our coaching staff is that they respect us as players. Respecting your players is very important and kind of encourages people to play and work hard.
Sometimes when we're looking down and stuff, he'll always try to bring out the positivity, as well as our assistant coaches. Everyone is a well-rounded coach and they always try to help us to the best of their ability.
We always want to give back and say, like, you know, we are a community college and we want to give back to the community.
We raised money for Breast Cancer Awareness Month and for Movember, and we did our annual gift exchange with the YWCA.
We do the best to bring in club teams and like high school teams, elementary teams. When they come in, we do little special signings, like little cards and that. Make them feel important and they go, oh, this is something I can maybe do later on. So we just really want to give back to say, hey, we are Durham College, the women's volleyball program. We want to be part of the community, we want to be active, and we want to help as much as we can.
Honestly, just go out and work as hard as you possibly can, even if you think you won't have a starting spot. Everyone works to where they need to get to, and if you want to be on the court, just show it and you'll get there.
I'm in it just to rewrite history, cause I'm in the mood to label us the leaders of the new school. This ain't for the radio, can't find this on YouTube. This the type of killing that these critics ain't used to. Victorious, victorious, victorious. In this day and age, I got time for innovation, time to be creative, time too big to waste on my time on critics hating. Flattered by your opinions, to show you I'll just embrace it. Now watch a early sunrise up, no daylight savings, go nuts when I have to. Glaze bet my sound in this beats on the house that we dreaming. Watch me way back up in the gas when my thoughts are distorted. Cause I recall guys were hating uncommonly, all of them became common denominators. Hold up, try to overlook a rival. All eyes on me cause I got no competition. Now looking at an idol. Your dough ain't long enough to pay for my attention. Man, it's the gospel for the black sheep. I guess it got a banging ring to it. Quiet with triumph on the rap league. So all of you mother can sing to it. I was born to be victorious. Most definitely victorious. I'm destined to be victorious. Through all I hate that displayed, we remain warriors. I was born to be victorious. Most definitely victorious. I'm destined to be victorious. Avoided by the statistics, occasionally we'll quit it. Pay reality visits, but it was too hard to live it. Built on my confidence and delivered. Now I be burning these critics, cause they ain't know they was walking their course while burning their bridges. Hold up. Man, whoever thought I'd be rapping? The family ain't never think that can happen. Matter of fact, only person that ever pushed me to get up was my mother, and the only reason was cause I can track. Heard that comments the chick that you put a ring on. And by the looks at your life, guess she's a Klingon. It's on me. Dudes had they lead on the board, but games change over time, so I even the score. Youngest sped it up, learn how to step it up. Wants to be chefed up, set it up, sit it wrapped enough, giving the rest to us. Going off, so of course, maybe we're showing them throwing it off. Treating it like it's an when they playing me foul, but I still got my point across. And this is gospel for the black sheep. I bet it got a banging ring to it. Quiet with triumph on the rap league. So all of you mother can sing to it. I was born to be victorious.
here inside the Campus Recreation and Wellness Center as the Durham Lords trail by 1, 36-35 to the Redeemer Royals. Leverage gets the ball to start the second half and poked away. Vitello heads to the ground and scooped up by Oliver. Leverage with the fall-away shot, and it's just a bit short.
Well, Nico Leverage there getting a bit of a taste of rural medicine as it was stripped away from her momentarily. She had to quickly follow it back up, and the fadeaway shot doesn't go to plan as it hits off the rim.
To break, hands it off. Vitello, three-pointer, no good. And going the other way with it will be Brianna Morrison. Morrison has options for a screen, gets one from Leverage, he gets tied up. Leverage gets the ball on the nail, step back jumper, and swishes it.
I was going to say again, the Lords were cutting it close towards the end of the shot clock. Leverage, though, taking her time to get the open shot off and takes advantage to put the Lords back in front.
To break has some difficulties getting it up as Morrison puts up an ill-advised shot. It'll be Lord's ball. So Morrison brings it up over to the logo. The Lords looking to go on their first extended run of the game. Really hasn't able to find any separation. Glendening.
She creates some there, though.
That's her first bucket of the game.
Second three-point opportunity is a charm, and she makes full advantage of that. Glendening puts the Lords in front by 4.
And a beautiful shot in the paint keeps things rolling for Redeemer as they trail by 2 now. Been a back and forth battle the entire way. Like I said, neither team really able to find an extended run.
Really tight all the way around, and we see Redeemer get another stop here.
Vitello is just completely unguarded on the break, hands it off, and heading to the line for 2 will be Vragdeno.
She was guarded that time, but a little too hard there for Morrison, who picks up the foul. That'll be her first of the game.
Something that's interesting, keep track of throughout this game is there's also a youth basketball tournament happening down the hall at the Ontario Tech Gym with several teams available to them. And I mean, we've seen it throughout the years where it ends up maybe not by chance, where you have a tournament like that and also a Durham Lords game day will be happening at the same time. You'll siphon some of the teams over into fans.
Yeah, especially during a playoff game too.
And this has been a loud crowd here getting involved, and I'm sure not in a small part to the tournament happening down the hall.
Yeah, 3 separate courts for at least 3 different games from time to time going on down there.
Leverage takes a bump but unable to convert on it. All tied up at 40. Three-pointer, in and out. To break, hands it off. Vitello brings it in for a mid-range Jimmy.
Just like that, Redeemer goes back in front again, and this back and forth pace kind of continues. Not the game the Lords want to be playing right now. Kind of being spread out a little bit on offense.
Thompson drives in, pushes it off glass, ties it back up. 42 apiece. Vitello driving in and gets whacked and sent to the ground by Glendening.
That's for sure going to be a foul, and hopefully that's all, as Glendening came back trying to get to Vitello before she can lay that ball up and in, but it looks like it's just going to be the 2-point shot here, nothing more.
Glendening arguing, how's that a foul on me? There's one a game where you're just like, maybe let that one go.
It happens.
You know, I understand it. You got to argue your point at some points, but maybe choose one that isn't so blatant. Vitello makes the first. Takes a 1-point lead in this hotly contested contest. First of 2 games here, and we'll have the men's game against Lambton here at 6 p.m.
Shortly after this game concludes, maybe even a little longer, as this game's entirely contested. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw overtime coming up here, Sean. The game's been contested all the way around. I know it's too early to even mention that, but the way this game's gone, I think it's going to come down right to the wire, to the end, at least by 2 or 3 points.
And a deep 3-point shot, Angelini. Almost a heat check at that point. She's made one from deeper than that tonight. Himanen finds some space at the 3-point line, and it's no good.
Well, coming up on that, all Kirasi reached over.
So Morrison comes back in, as well as Lewis.
Substitution for Lewis, number 3, Morrison, number 13, Aisha Lewis, coming to the attack.
Aisha Lewis gets tied up. Angelini, and jump ball will stay with the Lords. They'll get another crack at it. 12 seconds left on the shot clock. And they're going to correct the call. It'll be Redeemer ball.
Yeah, I was going to say. Maybe a little bit out there off the foot, but nevertheless, the Royals are going to get the ball back here. A chance to extend the lead here.
And Hannah Oak is going to pick up another foul. She's picked up a few of them in short order.
I should take that back. The last call was actually a dead ball, apparently, which the Lords rebounded, so no extra foul there to Oak, only the one.
Angelini kicks it out to break. Vitello for 3 and swishes it.
Good transition of the ball and taking the Lords defense in a little bit, leaving Vitello wide open to take that shot. That's been a problem for the Lords as this game's gone on. They adjusted to it a little bit in the second quarter, but first and third quarter to start to have really not had that chance to cover these hot shooters here on the Redeemer Royals. All of a sudden they lead by 5.
So we'll see 3 players come on as Himanen, Oliver, and Leverage come on, and Lewis, Oak, and Glendening head off. Glendening, been quiet here tonight, has hit a 3 here in the second half. Oliver hands it off. 1 second left on the shot clock and unable to get a shot off from the Lords. That'll be a turnover.
And again, we've seen Redeemer's side a couple times not take advantage of the shot clock, a little bit of a violation. And on Durham's side, they've come down to the wire of the shot clock. That time they had a limited time to get a shot off. It took about 3 or 4 seconds for them to move the ball around. By that time, it was far too late.
To break. Would have been a sweet pass if there was anyone there for it. Still able to keep it is Redeemer. To break, kicks it out. For 3, rattling around it in is Julia Station. And all of a sudden, the Lords are reeling here in Oshawa, 50-42.
Yeah, the Lords being outscored 14-7 here to start this third quarter, and certainly not what Shirley Chance was looking for both sides of the ball, defense and offense. Offensive side, a lot of miscommunication between Liam the second and early here in the third, and all of a sudden defense faltering a little bit again, like we mentioned, Sean. defense unable to pick up the open shooter, and sure enough, back-to-back threes have really separated the Lords and the Redeemer Royals, as the Royals now take an 8-point lead going into this timeout here, forcing Cheryl a chance to take a chance, call the timeout.
And we talked about it earlier. The key to the game for Redeemer is to keep people to manageable increments on the score sheet. Brianna Morrison with 9 points, Deja Thompson with 12, and Oliver with 8. But still, you have players like Glendening and Hamanen and Littman really haven't been able to get going. And even Brianna Morrison, the 9 points that she has, it's pretty quiet 9 points. It doesn't feel like she's getting that involved in the offense, frequently in and out for rotational purposes as well. So Redeemer really executing their game plan well so far.
And we talked about all the depth and the scoring ability that the Lords have on this team throughout the end of the regular season, but that really hasn't come into play here this afternoon as Heyman and Gallimore, Glendening really struggling as we head down the line here.
Thompson gets tied up and came down a bit awkward on her ankle, but it looks like she'll be okay.
Feeling it around a little bit, but I'm sure Deja will do whatever she can to stay in this game, especially when you're down by 8. Durham, they need anything and something to get them going. Maybe an offensive foul here.
And there's an offensive foul. Has to be careful to not pick up a technical.
Yeah. Kendra Oliver did not like that call. She's protesting that she flopped down a little bit too easily. But I thought I saw an elbow get up there a little bit, Sean. So
clearly an elbow.
It was a fair enough call. Durham gets the ball back though.
Thompson driving in transition. And for all the struggles that the Lords have had offensively, Deja Thompson right there with 14 points on the night.
Yeah, Deja doing the best she can, doing her job, contributing to the scoring.
Station for 3, and really an issue that the Lords are having throughout this game is leaving wide open three-point shooters. Redeemer shooting 31.3%, 5 of 16 from deep, and Durham unable to get going from deep, just 2 of 10.
Yeah, 5 of 16. Not a lot of quality chances, but those chances have come wide open, and sure enough, the wide open players mostly have been Jessica Angelini and Vitello, 2 of our best shooters on the team in this game.
To break, rips it away from Leverage. She'll work in transition, gets it ahead to Angelini. Nice pass cross court, and Vitello will bring it back to break. Driving in, dump off pass, and a block from Morrison. Ball gets tied up. That'll be a jump ball.
Boy, Durham needed that to really stay into this thing. Morrison right underneath the basket. Mentioned how key she can be on the defensive side as well early on, Sean, and sure enough comes up with the block there.
So a big lineup in for the Lords as we see Glendening come in. She goes into the front court with Leverage and Oliver, Thompson and Morrison in the backcourt. Angelini finds to break. Stumbles to the floor, finds Vitello. Shot has to go up in a hurry. 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Station's three-point shot is no good.
Thought with the luck, things have gone for the Lords. I thought that ball would bounce back up and in, but fortunately Durham gets a little bit of a break. Got to get some points here.
Thompson wide open underneath the basket, picks up a bucket. It's a 4-point game.
Deja has a beam to the net. You know what I mean, Sean? She just finds that little space, even if it's that little, but I'm going to call it travel here. Look at this.
And 2 referees called the foul at the same time. They both look at each other to confirm the call.
The Lords knew it.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's how both referees got the memo. Sure enough, some life coming here for Durham, a life with the crowd back into it here.
Thompson, she's been everything for the Lords in this quarter, and her streak continues as it's a 2-point game.
6-0 run, all courtesy of Deja Thompson. all of a sudden up to 16 now in this game.
And a steal from Morrison. Directing traffic. And a foul called.
Leverage takes advantage of a bit of a hold there from Vitello in the high key. Ball's going to stay with Durham. They'll have 17 seconds on the shot clock to draw something else up here offensively, tie this game up.
Glendening inbounding it. Morrison. A huge size disadvantage out on the perimeter. Thompson unable to keep the streak going, and still a 2-point game, 50-48. Karen to break. Spins and gets it swiped at from Leverage, who covers up the ball.
Nico Leverage, great anticipation getting to that ball.
You see her get some credit from Sherlyn Chance there.
Yep. It's just the credit we're talking about is that defensive awareness. Lord's able to get another stop here.
And this energy has been what the Lords have needed throughout this quarter. Still some work to do to crack into the lead. That's not going to help matters, as it's a turnover. We'll see Shay Littman come back in. Brianna Morrison heads out. Morrison still with 9 points. Deja Thompson just a bucket away from having 20. She has been hot this quarter. Station. It's kicked out to the perimeter. Vitello hands it out to break for three. That's an optimistic shot. 40 seconds left here in the quarter. Lord stuck too. 13 seconds left on the shot clock. Littman will find Leverage. Diving in and going the other way with it. It's an offensive foul called on Leverage.
Really? Leverage in a 1-on-2 situation there. I thought she got the worst of that, but referees say otherwise.
Yeah, Leverage getting a warning from the referee for arguing that. It feels like the Lords have been on the brink of picking up a technical a few times for that.
Yeah, we saw Kendra Oliver earlier barking back after picking up a foul of her own, but Leverage there too.
And there it is.
Yep, just got the tee.
Leverage is going to walk that one off. The technical assigned to Leverage, and I mean, that could have been far worse as she swung her hands out after the play, nearly hit a player in the face.
Yeah, and that kind of hurts the Lords a little bit because you had the momentum going
Leverage
for a little
needs
bit.
to stop. She's still arguing from the bench. Chances saying, sit down.
Yep, Sherlyn Chance, good on him getting in there, stopping things from getting any worse, from escalating. But like I'm saying, Sean, that kind of hurts the Lords' chances.
And even earlier when we saw Kendra Oliver, she picks up an offensive foul, immediately turns around and points at the referee. I mean, that's a bigger referee than me to not call a technical foul on that situation. As soon as that happens, I'm teeing her up. It's technical.
Well, it's hard to keep your emotions back, especially when things are at an all-time high here. Your season's on the line and whatnot, but if you're Durham, you got to keep that composure anyway. Just had a big momentum with Deja Thompson, 6-0 run to keep it at 2, but all of a sudden you find yourselves down by 5 once again.
Shot clock turned off, 10 seconds left. Littman trying to find Lewis, foul called. So it won't be in the act of shooting, but it will be in the bonus, as that is... Sorry, they are calling it in the act of shooting.
I was going to say, I thought so.
So Lewis heading to the line, looking to bring a little life to the Lords at the end of this quarter. And
they're not calling it shooting anymore.
A couple referee decisions have gone back and forth here in this quarter. That was probably the right call. 6 seconds left. Oliver puts it up off rim to break. And wasn't able to get a shot off as Redeemer has came in here and is frustrated the Durham Lords 53-48. And a big time performance from Deja Thompson is keeping the Lords in this right now. 18 points. Brianna Morrison's been quieted with just 9 points, which, for other players' standards is pretty good, but for somebody you expect to get about 19 points on the night, that's a rough start for her. Glendinning with just 3 points on the night really hasn't put up a lot of shots either. 1 of 3 from the field. On the flip side of things, Vitello with 12 points, Angelini with 12 points, to break with 10 points, Stacia with 9 points. It's just a whole team effort to get them where they are.
Yeah, the depth scoring really coming into effect for the Redeemer Royals. Not so much for the Durham Lords. We mentioned Glendinning and Hamanen struggles early on, 3 and 2 going into the fourth. And like you were saying, Sean, if it weren't for Deja Thompson, Deja Thompson's little run there, this game might be a little bit out of hand. But Durham, like I said, the emotion's seeping in a little bit. But you got to keep those in check. Like I said, down by 5, your season's on the line. Going into the final 10 minutes of play here, Sherlin Chance must be giving the speech of his tenure here at Durham College for a little bit.
Yeah,
to keep this season alive.
I would kill to be a bug on the wall in this huddle right now. I mean, you can see Chance's animated, and throughout the game, he's been frustrated with players not following the script, not getting the ball to where it needs to go.
Yeah, we saw Hannah Hamanen a little bit late there in the second quarter. Same with Shea Littman too.
And it's really, really hard to underscore how difficult it can be when you get in your own heads, right? And you see Leverage coming out, you see Oliver coming out, Glendinning, all 3 of those have had issues with the referees this game. And, I mean, the referees have had more correct calls than not tonight.
But like I said, if you're Durham, you got to shake that out of your head. But there you go, Thompson with the steal.
Thompson, she's been everything tonight for the Lords, and will pick up the foul, head to the line, looking to make it 20 points on the evening.
Deja Thompson, we talked about her off the top. Great end to her season, working her way into the starting 5.
Yeah.
Really a key contributor on the offensive side. And she's doing it again in this second half.
And Redeemer really, I almost wonder if it's part of the game plan to just say, hey, we can let Deja take, that would be her 16th or 17th shot of the evening, officially her 15th. But Morrison only shooting 7, and Glendinning only shooting 3.
Yep. So you can definitely say Morrison and Glendinning were on the Royals' radar more than Deja Thompson. But when you have your targets on 1 or 2, then you lose 1 eventually in the game of basketball. That's what basketball is all about. It's supposed to be that kind of team game where everybody's going in case of some aren't. And sure enough, Thompson living up to that expectation.
Sherlin Chance had a couple words for the referee as Stephanie Blair had her elbow up and kind of pushed out on Deja Thompson. A nice little mid-range jimmy there to get the Lords back into it. Down just 1, 53-52.
Monica Leverage with some redemption there. The quick little fade jumper to make this a 1-point game. That's what Durham wanted. A quick start to this quarter, a 4-0 run to start the fourth.
So ball comes into the paint. A 3-point shot, and the Lords, to their credit, while giving up a bunch of those open looks throughout the first half, have shut that down here in the second.
On a couple of occasions too. Not a lot of shooting going on for Redeemer.
Leverage looking to get into the paint will pick up the foul. And Durham has a chance to take the lead.
Would only be their third or fourth different lead of the night, Sean. So like I said, to Redeemer's credit, they've really come in and kept things closer than anybody would have expected here, especially with the way the season's gone on the defensive front.
And it's an interesting matchup, too, because when you look at the men's game after this, you have a couple different games to parse against Lambton, and Redeemer's a completely fresh matchup for them.
Right.
We haven't seen them at all this season, even through the preseason and the different tournaments.
Yeah, and that's really how this playoff bracket really affects certain teams. You got instead of just the formal Eastern Conference versus Western Conference sitting, you have the East intertwining with the West, or maybe vice versa. In this case, for Redeemer, they're coming 7th out of the West, and for Durham, like you said, Sean, never seen him before. So that's why I said after that first quarter, maybe adjusting to your opponent might be just what you need to get going. But Durham hasn't really been able to do that at all this game, really.
Morrison arguably gets away with a travel. But going the other way with it will be Redeemer. Lau kicks it out. Station into the paint. Gets it back, puts it up off glass, and all tied up 55-55. Sorry, make that 55-53. Leverage, mid-range Jimmy. Maybe pulled it a bit too quickly. Katie Lau gets it poked out in transition, and it'll stay with Redeemer. Avery Klein set to come back in as we see Katie Lau head out.
Avery Klein comes in for number 14, Katie Lau.
7.5 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Three-point shot, no good. Glendening with the rebound. Morrison. Mid-range shot, in and out. Oliver.
I'll stay with Durham, it looks like.
The ball will stay with Durham. It was a bit interesting to see where that got called.
I thought they were going to call Oliver again for an offensive foul of sorts, but...
So initially I thought that was going to be a jump ball, and I was like, man, that's a quick jump ball call.
Yeah, really quick jump ball. Usually it takes about 3 or 4 seconds to make that call, but...
Leverage off of the rim. Hannah Oak, no good. Angelini for 3. Grabbing the rebound will be Glendening. Oak gets the pass in transition and unable to finish it. Heading to the ground, it squirts out, and
there's a jump ball, I think.
That'll be a jump ball as Deja Thompson gets in on it. Tied up with Stephanie Blair on the ground. Ball will stay with the Lords. Sherlyn Chance also talking to the referees there. You have to watch out for that if you're a coach.
Exactly,
too.
Yeah. Don't want to see a coach get ejected from a game.
Tied up.
It's going to go the way of the Royals, it looks like here.
And Glendening, like we said, she's been such an important part of this entire season for the Lords, and really hasn't been able to come online here tonight. A great three-point shooter, averaging just under 13 points a game. And tonight, side of the 1 3-point shot, she's been stake bit.
Yeah, hasn't got a lot of chances to shoot whatsoever. So, again, to the Royals' credit on defense, really guarding Glendening and the rest of the Lords' depth scoring well. Heyman in only 4 shots as well. So, a couple of other missing pieces for the Lords in that category in shooting.
Thompson will be a travel.
Now she's arguing with the referee too. better be careful as well, especially when you're sitting on 3 fouls leading the way for the Lords.
Yeah. And like we said, Deja, at times she struggled with her foul situation.
Morrison also sitting on 2, Leverage with 2.
Brogdeno hands it off, cutting into the paint, and unable to save it. It will be a travel call.
The 2 travel calls on both sides going the other way.
So almost an entirely small lineup for Durham right now, as we have Littman, Himonen, and Thompson in. Himonen for 3 and no good. Shot clock was winding down, however. Station in transition puts it off glass, no good.
Not a lot of scoring being done in these last couple of rushes here, Sean.
Himonen will pull it back out. Angelini directing traffic, sees the pass coming over to Littman, and Okavs it in the post. Leverage pulls a 3 and airballs it.
It's one of those 4 shots again. Time winding down on the shot clock, so this time the Lords decided to take the shot with that time winding a little bit. Leverage comes up pretty unlucky as she heads off.
It comes up unlucky to miss it, but lucky for the Lords to have it head out off of a Redeemer player.
Very lucky at that fact. If they let it go, it could have been an air ball, and the ball's going the other way, but instead...
3 seconds left, and a foul called. That'll see Kendra Oliver head to the line. Once again, the Lords have a chance to tie it up.
Now you can see Angelini's not that happy with the call either. Looking up to the sky. These are some huge free throws here. You can imagine the pressure's on Oliver here a bit.
And is not able to make either of them, and these missed free throws are coming back to haunt the Durham Lords right now. Thompson misses a layup, and the lid is on the bucket. The Lords are struggling right now.
Oh, very much so.
As we mentioned, the Lords shooting 55.6% from the free throw line, and what a shot from deep.
Boy, that's what could come back to haunt you right there.
And Karen to break. And it'll be Morrison tied up and headed to the line, looking for a 3-point play.
So now the offense starts to come back to life. I was just about to say before that 3-pointer was made, only 7 points total in this 4th quarter for either team.
So if we want to talk about how important the free throw situation is tonight, as we mentioned, 55.6 from Durham, shooting 5 of 9. On the other side of things, Redeemer right now shooting 14 of 14.
Perfect 100
line. And I mean, you can chalk up the lead almost entirely to that on either way. Lords make all of theirs, and they're right in this thing. Redeemer misses a few of them, and the Lords are right back in this thing, right? So either way, it's been a big component of this game.
Either way you want to put it, especially from Redeemer's perspective, not a lot of fouls going around. They're the more disciplined team by a fraction in this game, Sean, and ultimately you can call it the difference in free throws, but ultimately not a lot of offense going on in this 4th quarter in general. Things kept really tight, and to me, it's not just that, but both offenses are really have the nerves in them a little bit as time winds down here. Both teams with their season on the line. Redeemer looking for the upset. Lords looking to move on.
And another thing, 4.26 minutes left. 5 fouls for Redeemer. Already in the bonus is Durham, and that's a long time to be in the bonus.
And especially with these free throws, the rest of the fouls, the rest of the way you can get some free throws, but you can't miss them like those.
And these free throw situations are going to pile up, as we've already mentioned. It's a tough outing from the line for the Lords tonight.
Make it now 5 of 10.
So clean 50% from the line. Leverage with a spinning jump shot. Morrison, she'll head to the line, and they'll have another 2 shots as Durham looks to chip away at this lead.
2 shots. This is loss number 3, Morrison.
And you see both the men's teams out and watching now, and a couple more teams from down the hall have trickled in for the final 5 minutes of the first game of the evening.
And like I said, Sean, we can pretty much confirm we're in for a finish here. Really tight stuff going on all around in this game. I don't think the lead's been larger than 10 at all for any team, or rather larger than 8, like we saw early in the third quarter.
Station hands it off to Break, who's the 3-point shot on her last possession, puts it up off glass with a spinning shot. 60-57 as we tick under 4 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. Morrison, jump shot, foot was on the line, no good either way. To Break, brings it up. Vitello will hand it back to her. To Break, driving baseline, picks up a foul, will head to the line, shooting 2.
Foul called on Lords number 23.
Redeemer has came in tonight, and I mean, they've had options offensively. 15 points from to Break. She's looking to find a few more here at the line. Vitello with 12 points, Angelini with 12 points, Station with 11, and Vrug Dunhill with 8.
Yeah, there are those options you're talking about, Sean. And you mentioned how that could be a strength for Durham, but they're getting a taste of their own medicine in that department tonight. As really the only scoring has been done by Thompson and Morrison, and sometimes Kendra Oliver throughout this game.
I want to say that proves that the announcer curse is not real. We announced that she was perfect from the line, and she hit the next 2. So I don't want to hear it.
It's going to force the Lords to call a timeout here as they get the ball back.
And I mean, the Lords are struggling here tonight badly. Like we talked about it. 4 minutes left in this game. We've seen Morrison try to get a bit more involved. I think that's the call from here. You need to get Glendenning, you need to get Morrison, and you need to get them clean shots. You need to get them clean looks. You can't let them get too bullied down there.
Right, because this is what your best players live for. You have to live up to those expectations and get your team over the hump. And in this case, you would have to go a long way to complete the comeback, especially if you're those two coming out of this timeout. Morrison and Glendenning going to want to do their all to get the comeback complete for Durham, especially down by 5.
And Glendenning shooting 4 shots in this game. I mean, it just doesn't feel right. You have a player of her caliber, you're hoping to get her really involved in this.
Well, now's your chance to get involved. Final stages here.
This has been your best lineup here tonight. Morrison, Leverage, Oliver, Glendenning, and Thompson. Oliver.
Surprised you didn't get a foul there.
Pass dropped off to Thompson, and it's good.
There you go, Thompson. Again, living up to the great game she's having. Maybe a little lucky on that front, but Durham, good start on the final stages of this game.
Vitello swings it around. Angelini for 3, no good. And picked up on the rebound is Morrison. Lord stuck 3. Thompson. Out to Oliver, has all sorts of room. We'll hand it off to Morrison. Into the paint and poked away.
Reaching foul coming up.
Vitello's unhappy with it.
Going to be some more free throw shots here for the Lords.
As we said, the Lords in the bonus the entire way, but with the free throw situation the way it is, it's you need to start hitting these at some point, and it doesn't start there. Leverage looking to split them, unable to. It has been just a horror show from the line in the second half.
Particularly in this fourth quarter, Durham getting all sorts of opportunities from the line. Just can't bury these. You got to bury these. And if you do, you're probably leading in this game already.
Yeah. Like I said, no matter which way you cut that free throw stat, if Redeemer isn't shooting perfect from the line, the Durham Lords are right in this thing.
Exactly.
And, I mean, to be fair, they're not out of it. It's a 3-point spread, but either way, it would be a much
completely different ball game here.
Completely different. And if Durham hits a few of them, it's the same situation. You can bring this down almost entirely to the free throw shooting.
Right.
And I mean, it's been a great game plan from Redeemer tonight, taking Morrison out of this, taking Glendening out of it. I mean, Daisha Thompson's been the beneficiary of that defense for sure, but it's been working out for Redeemer so far.
Right. And like I said, Durham needs to find a way to deal with this defensive pressure that's being put on Morrison and Glendening. Like I said, these two, the season's on the line. Possibly that last time being in Durham Lords uniforms, especially with Morrison's graduation coming up. So Morrison going to want to do her all here in the final minutes here, final 2 minutes coming up. Durham will see who's going to step up, whether it's Thompson again or any other name on this list that we mentioned earlier tonight.
So we'll see the same lineups come out for either side. The final 2 minutes, and the point just got added to Durham. I'm not sure if that's
accurate,
accurate or not, but it is up on the scoreboard here as a 2-point game. Angelini wide open under the bucket is Vitello.
And that can't happen on the defensive side. You need all the stops you can get if you want to chip your way back in this. Vitello wide open down low.
Morrison off glass and good. 2-point game. 64-62. Vitello driving on Morrison. It's a charge.
Brianna Morrison takes the charge.
Leverage talking to Vitello, and chances telling Leverage, hey, you've already got attack. Let's calm that down a little bit.
Don't want to pick up anything more, and that's exactly what Sherlin's telling her right now. Keep your composure together. 1:45 left. You got the ball back. Chance to either tie or take the lead.
Substitution. Redeemer's Katie Lowe comes in number 10, Serena Vitello.
So 64-62. Morrison looking to come to life here when it matters the most. Give it to Oliver. Cuts into the corner, wide open, foot on the line, shot's no good. Station kicks it out, loud, driving in. Angelini closed out on the 3-point line. It's a foul on Emily Glendening.
Oh boy, that's big too.
Yeah.
Down by 3, a chance to make it a 5-point lead with over a minute left. If you're the Redimere Royals.
So 65-62. 66, 4-point lead here for Redeemer. Final minute of play, about as tense as you can get, and it's a offensive foul.
Travel, I believe.
And Leverage took too many steps as she was setting up her post move. Honestly, I think Brogdano just pulled the chair out from under her. Classic defensive move. Driving into the paint, puts up the shot, Station, Lau, and it's going to be a foul.
Another foul coming up here. I believe it's on Leverage from underneath. Or it's on Oliver, I should say now.
So Lau misses the first free throw of the night for Redeemer. It's 18 of 19. And she misses both. Foul called behind the play. It'll be Lord's ball.
So remember that the first two misses from the free throw line for the Redeemer Royals, I should say.
The Lords need a bucket in the worst way right now. Morrison into Leverage. A double comes. Ball out to Oliver for 3. In and out. Morrison unable to save it. It'll be Redeemer ball. And Durham needs to foul from here. In their favor is the fact that they already have 4 team fouls, so the next one will be automatic free throws the rest of the way. Sometimes you can come into these situations, if you've played a pretty clean quarter defensively, and you come down and you have to commit 3 or 4 fouls, and you're taking upwards of 10 seconds off the clock. So at least that's in the favor of the Lords right now, but unable to get anything going offensively.
Even still, that last offensive push there, way too much time in the paint for Onika Leverage, and couldn't move that ball quick enough, and sure enough, a double came. She was pressured to move it, and sure enough, the Lords couldn't get that open shot. And now the ball back with the Royals.
It's been what we were talking about all night. Redeemer has been successfully able to get the ball out of the hands of Brianna Morrison and Emily Glendening. Coming down the stretch, almost every possession is going into the post. It's going into Leverage. I mean, at this point, you got to think Deja Thompson, you got to think, Glendening out there, she can hit a 3, and this would be game-changing at this point. You take it into the paint, you take it into Leverage, and it takes at least 5 seconds off the clock.
Yep. Ball's got to get out high in that situation and trying to make that push.
Angelini is going to pick up the inbound pass and will head to the line to shoot the fouls. And that is officially Redeemer entering into the bonus. So shot clock turned off the rest of the way. The first thing the Lords need to worry about is hopefully a couple missed free throws here.
Yeah, another couple. Like I mentioned before, those 2 misses moments ago, and they need some here. Not going to get them.
Not going to get the first. And in a situation where you need 6 points, the next shot that goes up has to be a 3-pointer. Shot no good, and that is massive rebound for Station finally, and Station almost swings at Deja Thompson.
Not sure if it was too much of the celebration or not, but either or, that was a big time rebound for Station. We mentioned the I was going to say league leader, but second best in the league in that department in the regular season. Couldn't have come up with a bigger one. Not sure if it was a set play or not, but regardless, more free throws coming.
Station's going to head to the line. No technical foul called, probably. I mean, we've had a few players lucky to not have technical fouls called on them throughout this, and she misses to first. I mean, there's no way to undersell this. The Lords need to get a rebound. They need. It makes the first.
So now it looks like Durham gets the ball here.
It'll be timeout called.
Timeout called by Regina Royals. Scoreline 162 Lords 62.
And I mean, this has been a wild ending to this game. It's been a wild game in general as Redeemer has came in here and shocked the number 2 seeded Durham Lords. So I believe Redeemer's going to get the ball because there's intentional foul. The way that they're talking that over. So Durham.
Well, if Durham didn't have the ball, then they wouldn't have had the timeout opportunity. So I thought I saw the Lords begin the offensive transition in the other end before the timeout was called. So I'm not sure if this gives time for the referees to correct this or not, but either or.
Looks like.
Yeah, ball's going to stay with Durham here, looks like.
You see referees going over to the bench. They're looking to figure out what the situation is here. Durham seems confused by it.
Although
it'll be Redeemer ball.
Yeah. It made sense as to what you were saying about the intentionally fouling, Sean, but
yeah. So Redeemer has to get it in. And they're going to tie it up. Call a foul, ref.
There were 2 or 3 of them, but they're going to get the ball back here.
I mean,
ball was pushed out of bounds.
It works out for the Lords, but
there were at least 2 that missed, and that's going to run 7 seconds off the clock.
So they're going to roll it in. Morrison, shot has to be a 3-pointer from here. Morrison puts up the 3, and no good. And falling out of bounds will be the Lords' chances at a comeback as Redeemer has came in here and successfully pulled off the upset. 68-62, the 7th seed takes down the 2nd.
Well, congratulations to the Redeemer Royals. Like we were saying, no one really expected this to be the occurrence, Sean, but they came in, played a team game here this afternoon, and really pulled off the upset to the Durham Lords. And the key difference in this game, depth scoring. They had all sorts of depth scoring throughout this game, and the Durham Lords couldn't get that execution going from their top players and bench players as well.
Brianna Morrison down the stretch came to life with 16-point. Deja Thompson with 22. Kendra Oliver with 8. And Anika Leverage with 11 rebounds and 7 points. And Glendinning unable to really get going with just 3 points on the night. That's going to be a topic of discussion around the OCAA. And just as you stated, a depth of scoring for Redeemer. 17 points from Tabrake, 15 from Angelini, including some massive 3-point shots. Vitella with 14 and Station down the stretch, 12 points and the biggest rebound of the game to almost secure the victory for them down the stretch. There had to be a bit work done after the fact, but a lot of talk is also going to be done about the free throw percentages. 20 of 24 for the Royals and just 7 of 14 for Durham, shooting 50%. A tough way for this Lord's season to end, but what a win for Redeemer.
And something happened down there actually between the Redeemer bench. Somebody was pulled back from the handshake line apparently. I'm not sure if it's an injury or because somebody was being held back or helped back to the Royals bench. I'm not sure who's down there, but not sure if it's discomfort. It might just be the aforementioned Julia Station.
Yeah, and I mean you can see Glendinning is visibly unhappy with that. And Station taking a look at them, and I mean, emotions run high when you're eliminated from an OCAA playoff game, especially when you have the hopes that the Lords had throughout this season. Well, wow, what a game.
Yeah.
And we'll have another one here in just about 18 minutes as the men's team takes on the Lambton Lions in what is going to be a hotly contested game. Could go either way. And man, it's going to be tough to beat the one we just saw, but we'll be back here in about 18 minutes right here on the OCAA Live.
We all really want to win and we all want to work hard towards winning. We don't think that just because we've done so well in the past years that other teams are just going to give it to us. We know that people know who we are because of how well we've done, and we have to work for what we want. These past couple years have been really good. Team-wise, I've made some of my best friends on this team who I believe will be with me for the rest of my life. And it doesn't feel like we're really friends. It feels like we're more of like a small family because of how closely knit we are.
Honestly, it's a really great program. There's a lot of extras that we have here. We have ETS, which is one of our fitness programs that we go through during the season, which helps with like injury prevention and also helps us improve as players throughout the year. Also, we have a really great coaching staff. We're really hard on academics, and we want to make sure that everyone, while they're doing well on the court, they're also doing well off the court.
The way I approach as a coach, like, you're here to be a student first. You have to be a successful student in order to play volleyball. You need to have a certain grade point average. If you're a scholarship athlete, you have a certain grade point average to receive that. School is going to get you where you want to be. Once you get that under your belt, then you become the athlete, and that's what we work hard on to make sure that they're successful in the court that way.
You meet a lot of new people on the sports teams and you make a lot of new friends, so it just kind of makes you feel more comfortable coming from high school.
We know it's a big jump going from high school to college. We do open gyms for the summertime. Sometimes we know the kids 2 summers ahead, and we'll have them come out just to meet the girls and train and try to get to the next level in that, and then just help ease that transition.
Getting to know some of the girls before even starting school helped a lot, because you kind of you make friends through it because you already have a common interest.
We try our best to make sure that it's a second family and you feel welcome and you feel comfortable. We want them to come in and go, hey, I know 10, 12 other people, and that they feel a little more comfortable and a little more stable.
A lot of the teachers are really understanding for first years, and they try to help you as much as possible. And as long as you let them know when you're missing things and you're going to make up for them, they're pretty understanding of all that.
So when I recruit, I talk to the athletes about potential athletes, what programs they're interested in. We have a lot of good programs that we can utilize here and really try to sell Durham for what it is. We have tons of amenities that a lot of other schools don't have.
We have an academic athletic study room that was provided for us. We all go up there to study sometimes or just to finish homework.
I think it's really good having the team room kind of as a place to go in between class, before practice, after practice really helps out. We have like ice tubs in the back of the room that I usually use almost every time after practice.
The gyms that we have are up to date, nice equipment that we get to utilize, our hitting boxes, our AccuSpike, setting targets, passing targets.
Having like people be there to set it up for us to make sure everything's right and perfect, it's really helpful. It doesn't really put extra stress on us.
One of the big programs that we utilize is the ETS, Elite Training Systems. That's something that a lot of schools don't have for varsity only training sessions to help your athletes to increase their speed and vertical and to avoid therapy. Therapy we have 2 great trainers every year that are overseen by our therapy staff. Our athletes are usually pretty strong and do avoid injury as much as possible.
We have a great coaching staff, Tony especially. He knows how to reach out to the girls and how to get them motivated during practice.
I think what's so good about our coaching staff is that they respect us as players. Respecting your players is very important and kind of encourages people to play and work hard.
Sometimes when we're looking down and stuff, he'll always try to bring out the positivity, as well as our assistant coaches. Everyone is a well-rounded coach and they always try to help us to the best of their ability.
We always want to give back and say, like, you know, we are a community college and we want to give back to the community.
We raised money for Breast Cancer Awareness Month and for Movember, and we did our annual gift exchange with the YWCA.
We do the best to bring in club teams and like high school teams, elementary teams. When they come in, we do little special signings, like little cards and that. Make them feel important and they go, oh, this is something I can maybe do later on. So we just really want to give back to say, hey, we are Durham College, the women's volleyball program. We want to be part of the community, we want to be active, and we want to help as much as we can.
Honestly, just go out and work as hard as you possibly can, even if you think you won't have a starting spot. Everyone works to where they need to get to, and if you want to be on the court, just show it and you'll get there.
I'm in it just to rewrite history, cause I'm in the mood to label us the leaders of the new school. This ain't for the radio, can't find this on YouTube. This the type of killing that these critics ain't used to. Victorious, in this day and age, I got time for innovation, time to be creative, time too big to waste on my time on critics hating. Flattered by your opinions to show you I'll just embrace it. Now watch a early sunrise up, no daylight savings, go nuts when I have to. Glaze bet my sound in this beats on the house that we dreaming. Watch me way back up in the castle, my thoughts are distorted. Cause I recall guys were hating uncommonly, all of them became common denominators. Hold up, try to overlook a rival. All eyes on me cause I got no competition. Now looking at an idol. Your dough ain't long enough to pay for my attention. Man, it's the gospel for the black sheep. on the rap league. So all of you mother could sing to it. I was born to be victorious. Most definitely victorious. I'm destined to be victorious. Through all I hate that display, we remain warriors. I was born to be victorious. Most definitely victorious. I'm destined to be victorious. Avoided by the statistics, occasionally we'll quit it. Pay reality visits, but it was too hard to live it. Built up my confidence and delivered. Now I be burning these critics, cause they ain't know they was walking their course while burning their bridges. Hold up. Man, whoever thought I'd be rapping? The family ain't never think that can happen. Matter of fact, only person that ever pushed me to get out was my mother, and the only reason was cause sucking tracks. Heard that Karma's the chick that you put a ring on. And by the looks at your life, guess she's a Klingon. It's on me. Dudes had they lead on the board, but games change over time, so I even the score. Young and sped it up, learn how to step it up. Must be shafted up, set it up, sit it wrapped enough, giving the rest to us. Going off, so of course, maybe we're shown to throwing it off. Treating it like it's an when they playing me foul, but I still got my point across. And this is gospel for the black sheep. I bet they got a banging ring to it. Quiet with triumph on the rap league. So all of you mother can sing to it. I was born to be victorious.
we all really want to win and we all want to work hard towards winning. We don't think that just because we've done so well in the past years that other teams are just going to give it to us. We know that people know who we are because of how well we've done, and we have to work for what we want. These past couple of years have been really good. Team-wise, I've made some of my best friends on this team who I believe will be with me for the rest of my life. And it doesn't feel like we're really friends. It feels like we're more of like a small family because of how closely knit we are.
Honestly, it's a really great program. There's a lot of extras that we have here. We have ETS, which is one of our fitness programs that we go through during the season, which helps with like injury prevention and also helps us improve as players throughout the year. Also, we have a really great coaching staff. We're really hard on academics, and we want to make sure that everyone, while they're doing well on the court, they're also doing well off the court.
The way I approach as a coach, like, you're here to be a student first. You have to be a successful student in order to play volleyball. You need to have a certain grade point average. If you're a scholarship athlete, you have a certain grade point average to receive that. School is going to get you where you want to be. Once you get that under your belt, then you become the athlete, and that's what we work hard on to make sure that they're successful in the court that way.
You meet a lot of new people on the sports teams and you make a lot of new friends, so it just kind of makes you feel more comfortable coming from high school.
We know it's a big jump going from high school to college.
Welcome inside the Campus Recreation and Wellness Center for the second game of the night as we have the number 2 seed, Durham College, taking on the number 7 seed, Lambton Lions. I'm your man on the call tonight, Sean McLeod, joined by my broadcast colleague, as always, Ryan Vieira. And your starting lineups tonight for the Durham Lords, you have Isaiah Barton, Angelo Sarsonis, Kansky Simon, Deshaun Spencer, and Mark Stoop. And conspicuous by his absence, you might notice, is Adam Hosseini, who is unavailable for today's game due to technical foul issues. And on the other side of things, Gakira, Miller, Wilson, Joseph, and Batunde Sowami for the Lambton Lions. Working in transition and will open up the scoring for the Lambton Lions is Gakira.
Yeah, you got to look out for these Lions. They have a lot of threats on this team. 7th best offensive team behind the Lords and 6th in the regular season. Those two teams will be going at it tonight. 3 of those players on this Lambton team average more than 15 a game, so that's going to be really dangerous. Lords defense will have to be aware of them on the court.
And I mean, it's really hard to overstate the absence of Adam Hosseini, one of the leading scorers in the OCAA throughout this entire season. And this Lambton's team is tough. Into the paint it goes, and it's Batunde Shawami.
And you can see the toughness that this Lambton team is bringing early on. 4 unanswered here. And Durham got to get that offensive game going here early. They're forced to down early.
Simon in the paint and tied up, heading to the floor. Once again, Samuel Barbatunde Shawami, who has been everywhere throughout the first 3 possessions of this game on either side of the court. Jerry Wilson.
Second leading scorer as well, Wilson. That's Jerry Wilson, one of those 3 15-point per game players I mentioned.
3-point shot, no good. And Barbatunde Shawami throwing some elbows, rips it away, but it'll be a jump ball called. And staying with Lambton.
You might expect to see some heat in this game, Sean. Remember, these 2 teams played twice before in the regular season. One in regular season action and one in tournament play, if I'm not mistaken. The last one was a dominant performance by this Lambton team.
And into the paint it goes. This time, Journey Joseph.
And there's the player I mentioned off the top, Journey Joseph, second in league scoring, averaging 25.1 a game. That's the main target the Lords will want to keep their eyes on tonight on the defensive side.
Sarsonis, he's going to be counted on a lot without Hosseini in the lineup. Simon botches the layup. It'll be going the other way as Journey Joseph is the one to corral it. Miller. 6-0 run for Lambton early. And it isn't able to make the sideline fading jumper. Barton puts up a 3 and overshoots it just slightly. Into the paint it goes. And Spencer picking up 2 points for the Lords.
Anthony Simon actually underneath there with the 2, and that's a big one. Simon smooth beneath the glass, and he's had to be for the last little while.
And tensions high, coming off of an upset victory from the Redeemer Royals as they took the first game of the evening here, ending the season of the women's basketball team. Shot no good. Stoop.
Durham looking to get that offensive rhythm back here. They've had a couple stops in the last couple of drives. Can't get the offense going here really though.
Stoop no good, and a rare miss from him as he's one of the leading the field goal percentage leaders in the OCAA. Spencer, 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Sarsonis takes a look at it, gives it to Stoop. Matched up on, no good. This time Simon's able to get the rebound. Barbatunde Shawami has a significant size difference in the paint, standing 6'10". He's a tall man.
Really tall man. You can see it from here. Even outmatches Mark Stoop in that department.
A little drop pass, finds Miller on the cut. Stoop in transition, almost surprised to not see him slam that home. Barbatunde Shawami talking to the referees. The foul called. And referees are making sure they have it right. Looks like it'll stay with Lambton. Barbatunde Shawami passes it out. And a mid-range mid-range jumper from Jerry Wilson.
So there you go, the big three have already connected in the opening scoring of this game.
Simon makes a layup over Babatunde Chouame.
Gansky Simon 2 for 2 down there in the paint. That'll be key for the Lords early on. It seems like Lambton really has the size advantage to counter with that. We mentioned Babatunde Chouame with that size advantage to 6'10".
Oh, and what a finish. Tyrell Miller, all sorts of contact, able to finish through it. It's a 6-point lead for Lambton, and miscommunication, and that will be Lambton ball. Couple substitutions coming in for Lambton, as we will see Gakira come back in, as well as we'll see Nedyelkov.
Talked about the absence of Adam Hosseini early on in this game, and how difficult that might be for Angelo Sarsonis too on the offensive side of things. You got to expect a lot of double teaming coming on Sarsonis throughout this game, which will make life a little bit easy for that defense of Lambton's.
And Nedyelkov, also a familiar face to the Lords, playing recently at Loyalist College, making the transfer this year over to Lambton. Stoop spins into the paint. Barton, all sorts of contact, and Lodi Kashala heading to the ground there. And tough fall. Good to see him get up from it. Miller kicks the ball over to Gakira, into the paint to Nedyelkov. Joseph finishes through contact on Barton. Physical game brewing here tonight.
Really physical. Lambton coming out really on that charge. And look who's warming up to come back in, Sean.
That will be an interesting boost. Barton for three, no good. Nedyelkov. So coming back in for the first time in a long time, and not quite yet.
Wait, there it is.
There it is. We'll see O'Shane Taylor Douglas, who initially the Lords feared that he may have broken his leg against Lecite, would be done for the season. And I mean, he got a good diagnosis off of it, and a nice pass, unable to finish, is Stoop.
A little too strong on the dunk, would have been a nice assist back in the lineup for O'Shane Taylor Douglas, but unfortunately Stoop a little too strong up there, like I mentioned.
Nedyelkov kicks the ball in the paint, swarm, Journey Joseph, and another sweet layup. Lambton all over the Lords right now.
And it's the big players for them early. That's 6 already for Journey Joseph.
And ball kicked out of bounds there by Miller.
Well, O'Shane Taylor Douglas, as soon as the Lords lose one, they get one back. Adam Hosseini might be a big loss.
Yeah.
When Taylor Douglas is on his game, he's really on. We've seen it before, that unfortunate injury.
Stoop goes into the paint, tied up immediately by Nedyelkov. So it'll stay with the Lords. How's that not in the act of shooting? Guys going up for a dunk and gets held. I mean, generous spot there from the referees to not have that in the act of shooting.
Oh boy, might be the same refs from last game.
Sarsonis. There's that mid-range jumper, no good, and Shane Taylor Douglas has hit a bunch of those throughout this season. Mabonza unable to chase it down as the lead grows for Lambton.
Up to 10, and their transition has been really strong. We've seen Joseph in the open for that breakaway stretch out.
3-point shot, nets it. Sarsonis.
There's a start Angelo Sarsonis was looking for. Coming a little late in this first quarter. All of a sudden, the fourth best three-point percentage shooter in the regular season gets a big one there.
And like I said, Hosseini out.
You gotta expect the pressure to be on.
You gotta expect the rest of the team to step up. Sarsonis is the guy you're going to be relying on there, looking for another one. Going back to back, isn't unable to do so. Barbatunde Shawame with the rebound. 3-point shot, no good. Journey Joseph looking to add his 8 points here tonight. Another 3-point shot on the other end into the hands of Stoop. It gets poked away. Sarsonis will pick up a foul.
Thought he was going to take the 3-point shot, but quickly readjusted himself as Joseph was right in front of him. Goes right around and picks up the foul.
So it's a 9-point lead for Lambton as Durham begins their search for answers.
This is not what you want to see from the Lord's side of things. Already down 9 here to start. And like we talked about on the opening, Sean, this is going to be a very interesting game. Both teams have really interesting pieces to their offense, and you can expect it to be tight all around.
Oh, Glody Kashala leaves it short on the rim as he attempts a slam dunk. Going the other way with it is Lambton. Passes high. Thorup able to grab it. Poked out of bounds, Barbatunde Shawame saves it. Thorup, mid-range jumper off the side of the rim. Mabonza has a minute to work with. A couple swipes at the basketball. Shane Taylor Douglas. He gets the ball back. Gets a screen, going baseline, and it's off the back of the rim. Miller puts up a long 2, no good. Mabonza brings it up over half, little floater in transition, unable to convert on it. Taylor Douglas finds himself open from 3, no good. And Barbatunde Shawame throwing elbows.
Glody Kashala arguing the call here.
And you can hear the fans in attendance calling for the foul going the other way. They're not going to get it. 30 seconds left here in the first quarter, 20-12. Barbatunde Shawame cuts into the paint.
There's that size advantage again for Lambton Lions working out for them early on. They're able to get to the paint really easily.
Simon takes the bump, makes the bucket. 1 second left, shot goes up, count if it's good, hits the backboard, and that ends the first quarter where Durham is stuck 9, 22-13. And Ryan, like I said, is an emotional atmosphere coming off that women's game, and things are reeling here once again after one.
Yeah, they've sure carried into this game. Really fast-paced and tight, intense start to this game, especially on the Lambton Lions side. They're big, they're physical, they make life really hard on both sides of the ball, really. And to start this game for Durham, on the defensive side, they're physical on the ball handlers for the Lords and guarding whoever they need to guard. For example, Angelo Sarsonis only 3 shot attempts in that first quarter. Couldn't get much going for him other than the big 3-point shot, and then offensively they're exactly the same. All these big bodies in the paint taking the options away for the Lords, and so Durham has to find a way to adjust to this attack, although it's really hard to beat such a big team like this.
An interesting start to the OCAA playoffs here. The doubleheader in Oshawa turning out to be everything that the OCAA playoffs are known for. You can never count out anybody. It was talking with Daniel Harris before this game, and he was telling me it's like this is a 7 versus 2 team matchup, and usually you expect to come into this and you're expecting to say, okay, we've got this. Obviously, the game before this showed us you can't always think that way.
Nope.
But he was telling me that the team doesn't even look at Lambton like they're 7th seed, but they're preparing like this is a 3rd or a 1st seed that they're facing. They're that good. And I mean, throughout the season, we've seen Durham take the first game of the season off of them. I believe that was in the David Stewart Invitational. And then the second game, obviously you have some issues there where you're the loss of Keith Tennant, and then you're losing O'Shane Taylor Douglas as well in short order. And you lose at the Lambton Invitational. So you have a bit of history with the team throughout this season. Oh, and what a block. Barbatunde Shawame hits the floor hard. We have a player down as Simon is slow to get up, and cherry picking the other way. Simon with an open layup.
I was going to say, Kansky Simon really slow getting up. I'm not sure if the back of his head kind of hit the floor on his way down, but able to find himself wide open as soon as he got back to his feet and puts that one in to kick off the scoring in the second quarter for Durham.
Tough shot. No good. Mabanza gets a screen from Kashala. O'Shane kicks it back door. And there's just so congested down there in the middle with Barbatunde Shawame.
That's what size does for a team. One of Durham's strengths has been in the paint.
O'Shane Taylor Douglas, welcome back to the lineup. First 3 points in months. And the Lord sorely needed them.
4th time's the charm. The 4th time O'Shane's taking a shot tonight. It goes down for him, and the Lords get some big points. As like I mentioned, their key game in the paint really not that strong, especially with all this size that the Lions bring to the table. And so you're gonna have to find a way to kick the ball out for some open shots. And sure enough, the Lords make it count there. Let's see if they can continue to do that the rest of the way down by 4.
So good. Kira and Miller coming back on for Lambton. Mabanza hands it off to Simon. Spencer, the mid-ranger, and floats it in. And don't look now, but it's a 2-point game for the Lords.
7-0 run to start this quarter is specifically what Durham is looking for to bounce back.
And stripped is Miller. Mabanza kicks it out. Spencer kicks it back to Mabanza. 3-point shot, no good. And Barbatunde Shawame gets the rebound. Ball comes back out to Miller. Wilson finds Miller for 3, and the shot looked off from the minute it left the hands, but Barbatunde Shawame will get the rebound, and that's 6 points already for him.
Gingerly jogging back to his defensive end there as he might have took one into the face, maybe grabbing his face in that area.
Mabanza with a pump fake gets Barbatunde Shawame off his feet. Spencer hits the floor.
Got caught in the face there. Not sure if it was, I don't think it was really intentional there by Barbatunde Shawame, but he caught him with an elbow as he reached out.
Yeah, that's a 3-second foul on Barbatunde Shawame.
So now he picks up the foul after he could have got it 10 seconds ago. I was going to say...
I think if you called the foul 10 seconds ago, it's likely a flagrant of some sort. I mean, you don't get hit in the head without that being called.
I was going to say, Deshaun Spencer coming back up the floor, and I'm not sure if it was intentional because Barbatunde Shawame was reaching for something, but he just pulled pulled the arm out and caught him right in the face.
So Simon heads to the line, looking to make it a 2-point game once again. And see Babatunde Shawame head to the bench for a short spell. Playing well here tonight, 6 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Kansky Simon leading the Lords in scoring right now with 10 points, 3 rebounds. Looking to add to that total at the line, and does. Say what you will about this Durham Lords team. They get one back, they lose one. They get one back, they lose one. They're a battle-tested team. They've had some tough games throughout this season. And they were stuck early, have made a run here in the second, an 8-2 run.
We're talking about it early on, how key it is to get these players back come playoff time, and unfortunately, Adam Hosseini, one of the top scorers on this team, that's a big loss to come back from, especially when you get O'Shane Taylor Douglas back in the lineup.
But Bonza looking for a alley-oop, isn't able to get it. Simon was just a bit late to it. Pass was a bit early, however you want to go about it. Miller kicks it out, and Wilson is no good. Stuck with a goose egg in the scoring category. 3-point game, 5 minutes left here in the second quarter. Simon, as you hear a Vuvuzela for the first time tonight. And Wilson with an easy 2 points on the other end. Timeout called.
Timeout called just when Durham got the ball back. So Desmond Rowley going to try and draw something else up here, see if they can really solve this defense of the Lambton Lions, because with a big guy like Babatunde Shawame off the court now for a little bit, not sure if he'll come back in after this timeout, but if you get a big man like that off the floor, you got to take advantage of that key area. I know it's not easy, like I said, against a big team like this, but Babatunde Shawame has been a big contributor on that part to start this game, so we'll see what Desmond Riley wants to draw up and see if he wants to change anything else different as time goes on here.
Tough game brewing. Like I said, the Durham battle-tested team, they've had a ton of tough games throughout this season. You know they're going to find their way back into it. And it's just a matter of how they adjust. Not having Hosseini, it's a huge blow, but even when we were seeing Hosseini earlier, walking around in the fans area, he's walking around, he has a splint on his finger. He was obviously, the last home game was struggling with his shot.
And that finger really contributed to that.
Yeah, and that's a very tough injury to deal with as primarily a shooter as well. Hosseini loves to get those 3-point shots up, and that right on the ring finger.
Touch on your point about the Lords having to come back, Sean, in the last couple of games. They found themselves in a little bit of a hole in the last couple home games of the season against Fleming and Centennial, and still able to make those closer games. So Durham, never a team to give up, but we'll see how they can manage to come back this time around.
Miller working in transition, finds Wilson, puts up a 3, still no good. Mid-ranger looking to break the goose egg, isn't able to do so. Jerry Wilson having a tough outing. Sarsonis with some fancy handles, gets in off the isolation, makes it a 3-point game.
That's what he's known for. Angelo Sarsonis, the nice move to create that open separation and takes advantage of that hole in the gap and puts it in off the glass.
Wilson kicks it out to Kira, in and out off a 3-point attempt. 4 minutes and 30 seconds left here in the second quarter. Stoop gets a bit of an awkward pass, hands it off to Sarsonis, driving in on Yelkoff, and it's off his thigh, out of bounds. O'Shane Taylor Douglas coming back in.
You wouldn't expect to see O'Shane get a lot of playing time, especially for his first game back in a couple months, putting more weight back on that foot. But you can see him coming in key situations as well when the Lords need some offense, need to get into those paint areas and the tight spaces. You can definitely see that.
Spencer puts up a 3 because he had nothing else going for him on that possession. And shot clock was winding down. Ball into the paint to Ned Yelkoff, kicks it out. Miller makes a 3, no good. Stoop with the rebound. Averaging 10 a game is Stoop.
That's what happens when you have big size to your game. We've seen it a lot with Barbertunde Shawami in this game already, but Mark Stoop using that to his advantage, not just in the regular season, but...
And Cody Kashala will pick up the foul. And Barbertunde Shawami is going to come back in. Good for the Lords to be able to make a little progress with him out. Potentially bringing it to a 1-point game here. Rims all the way around and in as we once again hear the Vuvuzela from the visiting Lambton fans.
I was going to say, I thought that was just about enough to get Kashala off his game for that one last shot. I thought it was going to trickle out the last second.
Money from the line is Kashala.
Now here comes the big man.
Yeah, Barbertunde Shawami back in, gets the ball in short order. Moves it up. Journey. Oh, what a layup. Journey Joseph.
Joseph's been a little quiet in this second quarter, kind of cooled down since that first, but big bucket for him to put his team right back in front by 3.
3-point shot. Sarsonis, one of the biggest shots of the night so far. Ties it up, 28-28.
There's the key for the Lords, is getting those 3-point shots early. Look out.
And it's a turnover as Akira steps out of bounds right in front of his bench. And a timeout called by Lambton, I believe.
Yeah, had to really cradle that pass, had to reach for it as it was way too far out of his reach. And so the Lords are likely going to get the ball back out after this timeout. I'm not sure why you would call a timeout when you don't have the ball, but Durham, credit to them, coming back strong in the second quarter. 15-6, they've outscored the Lambton Lions here in this second. So great adjustments made all around.
Yeah, and you're just flipping that first quarter right now. 22 points and 13 points for Durham. And in this quarter, 6 points for Lambton, 15 points for Durham. It's been a spectacular turnaround for them. And now they've got to continue to run to build on this lead, or what would be a lead if they're able to continue the run, I should say. 28 all around.
Yeah, one thing for Lambton I will note too, if you want to get that offensive game going back up and get that 6 a little bit more higher in the second quarter, then you gotta take advantage of your size and drive to the paint. Right now the shooting is not helping them. They're 0 of 11 in this game overall from 3-point range. And so you want to use that size, get inside the paint and get inside position and get those tough ones off the bucket, just to get that offensive flow back on your side here.
So Deshaun Spencer will be inbounding it. And we'll see a Shane Taylor Douglas bringing it up over half. Uses a screen from Stoops with a bit of space there in the mid-range, unable to corral it. Joseph, no good. And the Vuvuzela readying up in the crowd. Sarsonis into the paint. Stoop kicks it out. Kashala.
Boy, that rim has not been lucky really tonight for the Lords.
And then clear foul called as Stoop gets a lot of arms. I believe that was on Akende.
It was was going to say the Lord's really unlucky in the paint in the first stages of this game in the first half. First quarter, they really struggled to get those shots in tight. Just couldn't get the roll, and then right there, Kashala in tight, unable to finish.
And I mean, it's clear the Lords are going to have to deal with some noise.
I thought something was wrong with their mics for a second.
Oh my gosh. So, I mean, I guess it's clear Lambton's going to have to deal with some noise as well. There's a blood-curdling scream of the crowd.
I was going to say, did a ghost enter the building?
A banshee.
Something?
Wow.
Something out of the old horror movies?
Hey, I love to see it. You know, you're responding to the Vuvuzela with some noise of your own, and that's what these playoff battles are all about for the fans. And they can certainly make a large impact on these games, and we've seen it throughout this season here. And shots a bit too strong from Shea Taylor Douglas. Shot down low to Journey Joseph. He'll head to the line, looking for 13 points on the night.
Off a nice setup from Tyrell Miller, too. The quick no-look to the paint. Miller left all alone, and in the last second, Lords had to get back and foul. So Joseph at the line for a three-point play.
And the more standard pan banging for noise, as opposed to the blood-curdling scream that we heard before. I mean,
you'll take it either way. It's a missed free throw.
It works out for the Lords as Sarsonis drives in with a layup off glass. It's a one-point game, 31-30. Babakunde Shawame, and a ball kicked down low as Tyrell Miller is trying to argue that it was deflected. And the velocity that had going out of bounds, I very much doubt that. Sarsonis gets the screen. Simon, jump shot no good, and will be rebounded by Journey Joseph. He moves it up the floor. Mid-ranger is no good from Gakira. Shane Taylor Douglas pulls it back down under a minute remaining, 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Ball goes into the paint. Simon matched up on the big man, no good, and gets the rebound.
Reaching foul they're going to call.
So ball will stay with Durham. The shot clock resets, 12 seconds left on the shot clock, 43.8 left on the game clock. Durham looking to take the lead with a made shot. Simon. Taylor Douglas, no good, and it's Glody Kashala with the rebound. Pump fake. Sarsonis! A huge three-point shot gives Durham the lead, 33-31, and the lidders come off this place.
Boy, Angelo Sarsonis, what a three can do to a crowd and your teammates. It all starts with the extra ball pressure. Great job down low by Glody Kashala. Second chance opportunity comes out. It was actually a third off another second chance try off the backboard, off the rim, and eventually it's kicked out. Sarsonis makes no mistake, flushes it down to give Durham the 2-point lead before the end of this half.
And what a shot from Sarsonis. Of all the big shots that he's made throughout this season, and he's had some big-time performances, that's right up there. Gets the crowd back into this thing and just blows the lid off of this place. I mean, that's about as loud as we've heard this crowd all season.
Well, you want your best players going at key times, and Sarsonis knocks down another big three. He's 3 of 4 from three-point land, all the way up to 13 points. And like I said, with the absence of Adam Hosseini in this game, he's got to step up, deliver in a key way, and so far he's done so in this first half.
See Lord Durham dancing on the sideline. I mean, vibes are high right now. And I mean, let's be honest, Sarsonis has struggled at times throughout the past few games, especially here at home. And he's stepping up in a big way with the spotlight on him here in the OCAA playoffs. 13 points in the first half. And shot clock will be turned off. Lambton has the option to take the last shot of the half as Tyrell Miller backs down Mabonza. Gets a little space, switch comes. Miller puts up the shot and will head to the line, looking for two to tie it up.
Tyrell Miller, excellent patience all around. Originally guarded by Sarsonis and able to use the extra little bit of room, a little bit of a perimeter that he circled to get to the rim. All sorts of patience with the shot clock off, and he takes advantage going to the line for two.
It looks like we're going to have Trevor Grant come in off the bench. And the noise coming in once again. And Miller looks back at them and gives them a little check mark.
Where's the screen when you need it?
And makes 2 of 2, gives them a second check mark, well earned. Talk that talk.
Even still, Durham will get one last shot here with 6 seconds on the clock here before halftime.
So Shane Taylor-Douglas is going to get the ball rolled up to him. Doesn't get much time. He's going to have to take a deep three. No good. 33-33, all tied up here at half, and what a second quarter performance from the Lords, holding Lambton to 11 points, almost flipping the script entirely from the first quarter. And 20 points for themselves, a lot of that due to Angelo Sarsonis and Kansky Simon putting in all sorts of work on the offense right now. 13 points for Sarsonis, and Simon with 11 points and 4 rebounds. On the other side of things, Journey Joseph coming back to life a bit there at the end of the second half, 11.6 rebounds, and Tyrell Miller with 8 points, 5 assists, and 3 rebounds.
Well, Sean, game's been going at a really nice pace here to really to start off, from start to finish in this first half. Both games into it physically, mentally, and ultimately Durham, like we said, a great bounce back to end this first half, and we'll see what the message is in the second half of this tightly contested game.
We'll be back here in about 15 minutes right here on OCAA Live for the second half. You do not want to go anywhere.
Open gyms for the summertime. Sometimes we know the kids 2 summers ahead, and we'll have them come out just to meet the girls and train and try to get to the next level in that, and then this help ease that transition.
Getting to know some of the girls before even starting school helped a lot, because you kind of you make friends through it because you already have a common interest.
We try our best to make sure that it's a second family and you feel welcome and you feel comfortable. We want them to come in and go, hey, I know 10, 12 other people, and that they feel a little more comfortable and a little more stable.
A lot of the teachers are really understanding for first years, and they try to help you as much as possible. And as long as you let them know when you're missing things and you're going to make up for them, they're pretty understanding of all that.
So when I recruit, I talk to the athletes about potential athletes, what programs they're interested in. We have a lot of good programs that we can utilize here and really try to sell Durham for what it is. We have tons of amenities that a lot of other schools don't have.
We have an academic athletic study room that was provided for us. We all go up there to study sometimes or just to finish homework.
I think it's really good having the team room kind of as a place to go in between class, before practice, after practice really helps out. We have like ice tubs in the back of the room that I usually use almost every time after practice.
The gyms that we have are up to date, nice equipment that we get to utilize, our hitting boxes, our AccuSpike, setting targets, passing targets.
Having like people be there to set it up for us to make sure everything's right and perfect, it's really helpful. It doesn't really put extra stress on us.
One of the big programs that we utilize is the ETS, Elite Training Systems. That's something that a lot of schools don't have for varsity-only training sessions to help your athletes to increase their speed and vertical and to avoid therapy. Therapy we have 2 great trainers every year that are overseen by our therapy staff. Our athletes are usually pretty strong and do avoid injury as much as possible.
We have a great coaching staff, Tony especially. He knows how to reach out to the girls and how to get them motivated during practice.
I think what's so good about our coaching staff is that they respect us as players. Respecting your players is very important and kind of encourages people to play and work hard.
Sometimes when we're looking down and stuff, he'll always try to bring out the positivity, as well as our assistant coaches. Everyone is a well-rounded coach and they always try to help us to the best of their ability.
We always want to give back and say, like, you know, we are a community college and we want to give back to the community.
We raised money for Breast Cancer Awareness Month and for Movember, and we did our annual gift exchange with the YWCA.
We do the best to bring in club teams and like high school teams, elementary teams. When they come in, we do little special signings, like little cards and that. Make them feel important and they go, oh, this is something I can maybe do later on. So we just really want to give back to say, hey, we are Durham College, the women's volleyball program. We want to be part of the community, we want to be active, and we want to help as much as we can.
Honestly, just go out and work as hard as you possibly can, even if you think you won't have a starting spot. Everyone works to where they need to get to, and if you want to be on the court, just show it and you'll get there.
I'm in it just to rewrite history, cause I'm in the mood to label us the leaders of the new school. This ain't for the radio, can't find this on YouTube. This the type of killing that these critics ain't used to. Victorious, victorious, victorious. In this day and age, I got time for innovation, time to be creative, time too big to waste all my time on critics hating. Flattered by your opinions to show you I'll just embrace it. Now watch a early sunrise up, no daylight savings, go nuts when I have to. Glaze back my sound in this beats on the house that we dreaming. Watch me way back up in the castle, my thoughts are distorted. Cause I recall guys were hating uncommonly, all of them became common denominators. Hold up, try to overlook a rival. All eyes on me cause I got no competition. Now looking at an idol. Your dough ain't long enough to pay for my attention. Man, it's the gospel for the black sheep. I guess it got a banging ring to it. Quiet with triumph on the rap league. So all of you mother could sing to it. I was born to be victorious. Most definitely victorious. I'm destined to be victorious. Through all I hate to display, we remain warriors. I was born to be victorious. Most definitely victorious. I'm destined to be victorious. Avoided by the statistics, occasionally we'll quit it. Pay reality visits, but it was too hard to live it. Built on my confidence and delivered. Now I be burning these critics, cause they ain't know they was walking their course while burning their bridges. Hold up. Man, whoever thought I'd be rapping? The family ain't never think that can happen. Matter of fact, only person that ever pushed me to get out was my mother, and the only reason was cause I can track. Heard that Karma's the chick that you put a ring on. And by the looks at your life, guess she's a Klingon. It's on me. Dudes had they lead on the board, but games change over time, so I even the score. Young is sped it up, learn how to step it up. Recipe chefed it up, set it up, city they wrapped enough, giving the rest to us. Going off, so of course, maybe we're shown to throwing it off, treating it like it's an when they playing me foul, but I still got my point across. And this is gospel for the black sheep. I bet it got a banging ring to it. Quiet with triumph on the rap league, so all of you mother can sing to it. I was born to be victorious.
all really want to win and we all want to work hard towards winning. We don't think that just because we've done so well in the past years that other teams are just going to give it to us. We know that people know who we are because of how well we've done, and we have to work for what we want. These past couple of years have been really good. Team-wise, I've made some of my best friends on this team who I believe will be with me for the rest of my life. And it doesn't feel like we're really friends. It feels like we're more of like a small family because of how closely knit we are.
Honestly, it's a really great program. There's a lot of extras that we have here. We have ETS, which is one of our fitness programs that we go through during the season, which helps with like injury prevention and also helps us improve as players throughout the year. Also, we have a really great coaching staff. We're really hard on academics, and we want to make sure that everyone, while they're doing well on the court, they're also doing well off the court.
The way I approach as a coach, like, you're here to be a student first. You have to be a successful student in order to play volleyball. You need to have a certain grade point average. If you're a scholarship athlete, you have a certain grade point average to receive that. School is going to get you where you want to be. Once you get that under your belt, then you become the athlete, and that's what we work hard on to make sure that they're successful in the court that way.
Welcome back inside the Campus Recreation and Wellness Center for the second half of a hotly contested game against the Lambton Lions, 33 apiece. And it was a story of two quarters there in the first half. We'll see how the story unfolds the rest of the way, as Lambton is going to get us started. Once again, I'm Sean McLeod, joined by my broadcast colleague Ryan Vieira. OCAA playoffs living up to their billing here tonight. Ball kicked in, Barbatunde Shawame bullies down in the paint, and a foul called. See him head to the line looking to add another point to his total. It would be 9 on the night if he's able to convert it.
And the Lords are looking for a travel there possibly on Barbatunde Shawame as he was headed into the paint area. Very animate, but the Lords don't get the call.
Crowd quieted a little coming out of half. It was a back and forth battle of the two sides of the crowds here tonight as well at the end of the first half, as we hear the Vuvuzelas still involved in the game here.
Vuvuzelas on that side and the yelling on the other.
Yeah, the yelling and pots and pans.
Well, that's what playoffs are all about that noise, the extra noise and the extra energy that's brought into the building really contributes to the players' performance.
Barbatunde Shawame is blocked. Kansky Simon.
I don't think he sees that happen to him very often.
No.
I think he's more used to delivering those.
Spencer gets the rebound. Kick it out to Sarsonis. Shot clock winding down. 5 seconds left. Sarsonis kicks it to Barton, and it's a block in return from Miller.
Defense stepping up here.
No good on the three. Jerry Wilson, 2 points in the first half. Barton cuts in. Second chance opportunity is good as the Lords take a 1 point lead.
Isaiah Barton makes up for that block shot he had initially on the last offensive push from the Lords. Finally picks up his first 2 points of the night. Well, 4 now, I should say.
Driving baseline, double dribble, no call, and another block, this time from Stoop.
So Back-to-back big blocks there for the Lords the first time around. It's still going to stay with Lambton Lions here.
Three-point shot, nets it.
Wow.
39-37.
Tyrell Miller living up to his hype from the regular season in this game too. He and Jernie Joseph both in double digits.
Tough shot off glass. Spencer coming to life here in the second quarter. Or second half, I should say. Barbertunde Chouame pushes it out to Joseph. And a three-point shot is good from Gukira.
So look at this. The Lions were 0 of 11 from three-point opportunities in the first half. The second half, they're 2 of 2.
Stoop leaves it short. Simon battling down low with Barbertunde Chouame. Has to get it out. Barton for three, no good. There'll also be a foul call on it.
Yeah, it wouldn't have counted anyways. The whistle already went for the foul. But all of a sudden, this could be a big difference in this game if the Lions can get their three-point shooting going. They're, like I said, already at 2 of 2 with some big-time shots being made here to put their lead back up to 3. So we'll see how that trend goes the rest of the way.
So Miller bringing it up once again for Lambton. He's been big here in the second half. Working on a screen from Barbertunde Chouame and a lot of speed going into Kansky Simon. Could call that either way. That'll be a block call. Ball out to Wilson. Sheds Sarsonis, but Barton's there for the defense. Makes the shot over him anyways.
Boy, tough shot as well.
5-point lead for Lambton. 44-39, Sarsonis surveying the court. Stoop, turnaround jumper, nets it, was wide open.
Big 2 points from Mark Stoop, his first of the night. Lord's looking for a big impact for him in the paint.
Gukira falling to the ground on a three-point, or layup, I should say. Sarsonis throws it away, looking for a backdoor cutter from Stoop. In transition is Jerry Wilson, his 6 points on the night now.
Yeah, Wilson doesn't get really that easy for him. The pass picked off from Sarsonis and the quick transition the other way. Jones off to the races and puts it in.
Stoop kicks it out. Simon, mid-ranger. Going back and forth here. It's a 3-point lead for Lambton.
Offense really picking up here too. 13-10 already. That's a score not even halfway through the third quarter.
Miller calls for a screen. 3-point shot. Off glass, no good. Sarsonis kicks it out once again. Simon from exactly the same spot cuts it to 1.
Here come the Lords again. We mentioned they get down a little bit, but they don't stay down for long. All of a sudden, the 4-0 run puts it back to a 1-point game.
Joseph, mid-ranger, bounces around, in and out, batted out by Barbertunde Chouame. It'll be Lord's ball. Sarsonis for 3 from deep.
Making 4 3-pointers on the night for Sarsonis. That's been his money tonight.
You can't leave that man open. Gukira kicks it out to Miller. Working on Barton, gets into the paint, and a sweet layup from Miller. Ties it up 48 apiece. Barton looking to get the ball back to Sarsonis and will. Three-point shot from Sarsonis. Hits rim. Simon gets blocked by Barbertunde Chouame. Barton fading on the shot, no good. We'll see 3 substitutions lining up for Lambton, including Ned Yelkoff coming back in. And looks like O'Shane Taylor Douglas is going to come back in for the Lords. So it'll be Landesan and Ned Yelkoff coming back in, as well as Thorup for Lambton. And O'Shane Taylor Douglas coming back in for the second half here in Oshawa. Made a 3 in the first, wasn't really that involved in the offense, and as you mentioned, probably can't expect too much from him in his first game back.
No, especially when you have to pivot that leg a lot, the same leg.
Oh,
put a lot of pressure on.
Kansky Simon, sorry for interrupting you, but I'm going to say Kansky Simon interrupted you on that one.
I'm sorry for Kansky Simon. I'm sorry for interrupting Kansky Simon, I should say. Big block from him. He's had a big impact defensively in this game. 8 rebounds overall, as well as that big block. Keep the Lords in the lead here.
So Babatunde Shuame heads off, and as it was in the first, those are big moments for the Lords when you don't have that massive size advantage on Lambton's side of things. Step back jumper, no good. Tyrell Miller, he's been every bit as advertised here tonight. Screen comes from Stoops. Sarsonis gets the ball swiped away, and Akende will pick up the foul. Durham still leads by 2, 50-48. 3 minutes left in the third quarter of play. Simon working down low, little scoop shot, it's good.
19 points of the night now for Simon. All you got to do is give it to him in that same area, and he's been money down there in the key area beneath the basket.
Ball batted out to the sideline, and another block by Simon.
Have a night, Kansky.
Sarsonis for 3. Drills it! His 5th 3 of the night. 21 points for Angelo Sarsonis.
And look at the reaction of the Lord's bench with all 5 starters coming back. Angelo Sarsonis drills his 5th 3 of the night, bringing up to 21 for him now. And like we said, the impact he's had to put on this game with Adam Hosseini not being able to play tonight, that's huge. Him and Kansky Simon really doing their job. A 21 and 19 duo between those two. Terrific job overall by those two, and leading to this timeout. This place going nuts moments ago for Jello with that 3-pointer.
He, like we said, he struggled recently, so he's got his mojo back here tonight. The spotlight is shining bright on Durham right now, especially after that women's loss and upset. Redeemer comes in as the 7th seed, takes down the 2nd seed, and we mirror that matchup here tonight as Lambton, the 7th seed in the West, the 2nd seed in the East. Here is Durham. And it wasn't guaranteed for a while there that Durham would even get that 2nd seed. It was a battle there in,
towards the end, all the way towards the end, with George Brown and Seneca, all those tough teams out there. Seneca did lose today, by the way. We were talking earlier today about the top-tier teams and their games going on in the Saturday playoff day for quarterfinals.
Rough day for the East to start it out. We've still got a few left. No pressure on Durham in that regard. You see Humber take down Seneca, among others, and the fact that that was as big of a win as it was, and what a 3-point shot from Akende, I think caught a lot of people off guard that Seneca wasn't able to hold up in that.
And when you see that, you worry about your team being so up high in the standings. But Durham, like you're saying earlier this game, you were talking to Daniel Harris earlier, and how they're treating this as this Lambton team is the #1 seed potentially here, and that you don't want to go into a game with that kind of mindset.
Sarsonis will pick up a foul, has a few to give. That'll be his second of the night. And no foul situations really of any sort of consequence at the moment. Ned Yelkoff with 3, Simon with 3 as well. We're going to see Stoop come back in, and referees are going to take a moment to make sure they get this call right. Ball will come back to the spot of the foul.
Substitution for Lords. Number 44, Mark Steve.
Driving baseline, kicks it out. Ned Yelkoff receives it. Joseph makes it over, a hand in his face.
All of a sudden, a little bit of a response run here out of the timeout from Lantern. That's not what you want to have happen if you're Durham. You don't want to give your opponents any more life after you just got it.
Sarsonis dives to the ground. Stoop tries to get rid of it, and it'll be Journey Joseph. Foul called on Durham.
Mark Stoop going to get her for reaching in a little bit.
Lambton one foul away from heading into the bonus with Durham. Ned Yelkoff. Baseline.
Foul. Yeah, I know your reaction, Sean. I know. I wish you could have seen the look on Sean's face.
I mean, it was a close one. I mean, the contact was more to the body. I'll concede that.
Yeah, but in terms of getting ball, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There was no hand-on-hand contact. It was all ball.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
The scream is back. It's all tied up 55-55.
Unfortunately, the scream didn't work that time, though.
No. I'm going to hear that in my nightmares tonight. Spencer puts up the shot. The screams come in a good way this time, as Spencer will head to the line.
Sean Spencer, another big-time player that's really been contributing to the Lord's offense as of late in the regular season. Not a lot going on for him tonight. That's 6 points, but he can get a big bucket from time to time, and it's key situations like this one.
And it gets loud in here. Spencer once again, shot blocked by Ned Yelkoff. Joseph bobbling it out of bounds, isn't able to gain control of it. It'll be Durham ball.
Yeah, Joseph realized it too, took that extra stutter step out of bounds and then lost the ball and loses it out of bounds. So Durham gets an opportunity to redeem themselves here. Final minute.
Mabanza. Finds the Shane Taylor Douglas shooting 1 of 8 on the night. Step back jumper, in and out. Tyrell Miller. Akende thought about putting up a 3, would bring it back. 3-second difference between the shot clock and game clock. Down low, and what a pass from Miller to Joseph.
Boy, Tyrell Miller making it look way too easy.
16 points on the night. Mabanza working in transition, in and out. Ned Yelkoff has a chance to put it up. That won't count. However close it was.
Yeah, almost hit the camera up there too.
What a game this is shaping up to be. All tied up heading into the 4th, and may have extra basketball on tap. And it's been Angelo Sarsonis rising to the occasion with 21 points. Kansky Simon with 19. On the flip side, Journey Joseph with 16. Tyrell Miller, 1 assist away from a double-double. 13, 9 assists, and 4 rebounds. What a game.
Boy, boy, oh boy. 24 points aside for both teams in that third quarter. The offense certainly picked up. The offensive tempo that we were expecting in this game between two top-tier offensive teams. Like I said, both had the pieces to do it, and Miller and Joseph really emerging for Lambton's side, and Angelo Sarsonis again taking over without Adam Hosseini in the lineup, having a big impact on this game, as too is Kansky Simon.